Ahoy, shipmates! It's a rather wet and windy day here in the port of Southampton. We've actually got quite a busy agenda today. We have 5 ships departing. I'm just listening to the radio. Sky Princess has delayed, and I think Celebrity Apex is moving to 4:15. I'm not sure when Sky Princess is going. Apparently some bus has been delayed. That's what I heard VTS radio man say. Ione at 5:30, MSC Virtuosa at 6, and then Ventura at 6:15. So they're jamming them packed close together. You see, it's not particularly pleasant weather out there today. This is the Sky Princess. We should be able to hear her as she comes by. But more importantly, I'm the captain here on the Solent Ships YouTube channel. But we've got some special guests this week. We have Gavin and Luke, the cruise monkeys. Ahoy there, shipmates.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
We are here.
Excellent.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I can hear you loudly and clearly. Hopefully everyone else can.
Yes.
Had a little bit of a problem last week. Poor old Fraser was muted for a while.
Yes, if you can or cannot hear us, please let us know in the comments. That'll be great. Before we gabble on too much.
Yeah, I think it works this time.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can see you chatting on the one of the little VU meters.
Okay.
Virtuosa with champion ever.
Well, I've got to connect to a camera. Thought something was missing.
All right.
How's weather been in Wales then? Because you're based in Wales, aren't you?
We are based very
Ventura
west
with
of
champion
Wales.
even.
Yeah. It's not been too bad. Pretty similar to what you've got there, really, at the moment. I think things are meant to brighten up here tomorrow, possibly. Fingers crossed, because we haven't had much of a summer either. But yeah, it's not been too bad. Wednesday was really nice.
Yeah, Wednesday was good. Yeah, it's supposed to be getting better.
Yeah, it was yesterday and Thursday. It took a turn, wind and rain, the usual.
We'll send it your way.
Oh, thank you. We could do that. I was watching your video from the last one you did on that, the Windstar. I can't remember the Windstar, something or other. The weather looked pretty decent then.
It was, to be fair, it was quite. We were giving them a false impression, I think. All the people on that ship. It's not normally like that here.
No.
We were very, very lucky. There wasn't even a breath of wind, really. We were blown away.
It was the perfect day to visit Pembrokeshire.
Yes.
Excellent. And was that your first time getting on a cruise ship so close to you?
Second time. We
Second time,
managed
okay.
to go on Pacific Princess, 2018?
Late 2018, that was.
But we haven't had nothing since, really. We've had a few ships. We sometimes get ships that sort of size calling by, usually Holland America.
Little Azamaras.
Azamara, last year with Azamara too. Yeah, it was nice to see. And we were lucky enough to go on board. It was lovely.
Yeah, do you often? I didn't realise that cruise ships called in around that way. To be honest, I wasn't.
Yeah, only little ones. They have to tender, and I think the tenders sometimes prove to be a bit of a logistical nightmare for the port, from what I've been told. We have a lot of oil refineries and oil tankers. We also have a ferry that goes from Pembroke Dock, which is just over the other side of the river from us. That goes twice a day
To Rosslare.
Rosslare. So it gets in the way of traffic at times, but I think it's really good for the local economy. All the little shops down on the marina front, they seem to really appreciate it, and it's nice to see people around the area. I think on this particular cruise there was a charter for cycling.
Yeah,
So we noticed a lot of cyclists on our way down to the ship, and as soon as we came on board it was quite evident why, because there was actually lots of bikes on the ship as well.
Okay. You mentioned something about the bicycles. Oh, right. So touring cyclists. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not heard of that before.
No,
They'd taken over the whole
they'd
ship.
taken over the whole thing.
Ah. So you seem to have quite favourable impressions of the Windstar.
We really enjoyed it. We've gone to quite like a smaller ship. It makes you feel more connected to the sea, I think.
Yeah.
Big ships are nice to have all the facilities, all singing, all dancing, slides and that, but it's sometimes nice to just sit there, relax and just take in ocean views and experience it for what it is.
And considering she was built in 92, she's pretty well maintained, we thought.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She has had a massive refit though.
Yeah.
She was cut and shut, I call it, extended. When was the extension, did you say?
Just after COVID time.
Yeah, because you may have recognised the ship from Speed 2.
I didn't recognise it from Speed 2, I had to say.
That's the ship from Speed 2. So, yes. I was walking around the ship wondering, had Oh,
Sandra
Sandra
Bullock.
Bullock and all. Actually been there and touched that, but it's been modified and changed so much since then. I think.
Yeah, it was with Seabourn at that
It
time.
was at Seabourn then. Yeah,
Okay.
I think they added about 84 foot
Yeah, something like
worth
that.
of ship to the middle of it, which has extended it quite considerably. But yeah, we were very impressed with it. It was a very nice ship.
Yes.
Have you ever been on a Fred Olsen cruise?
Not yet.
It reminds me from what you're saying of a Fred Olsen ship, because they tend to be older and smaller.
Yeah. Funny you should say that. We were saying about ships that called into Milford Haven. I remember when we first moved to the area, the day we were moving in, I think it was the Black Watch, the old Fred Olsen ship. It's no longer in service now with them. That was in Milford Haven that day, wasn't it? Come to think of it. We used to see that one quite a lot that summer. I remember seeing it a few times.
We do have another port about half an hour away from us in Fishguard.
Yeah.
And that does get a lot more little cruise ships, especially kind of the AIDA cruise ships go in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And HAL.
And Hurtigruten and stuff like that.
Well, it looks to me like Princess Cruise is going to be tucked out. So we talked about the weather earlier. We're currently gusting 20 knots thereabouts. It certainly makes it the sort of weather that requires tug assistance. We've got a couple of tugs here on Princess Cruise Ship. I wonder if we might get to hear the Princess Cruise horns.
Love boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're waiting. She usually does, doesn't she?
Yeah, I would say it's not the most tuneful.
We were on one ship once, and the horn was out of tune, wasn't it?
It was even more so out of tune.
Yeah, and every time it was going, it was just very cringy. It would hit the wrong note halfway through, wouldn't it? Remember that?
Gosh.
It made for a lot of conversation around the ship, and it was a bit of a joke by the end of the cruise, I think.
Oh dear. Have you got? So you've took a little day trip on the Windstar last week. What's your next trip? Have you got one planned?
Our next trip is next weekend. We are back on Queen Anne to the Norwegian fjords for a week, which we're most excited about.
Are you departing the port of Southampton?
Yes, we are. Yes, I believe she is Mayflower Queen Anne next week.
Yeah, Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday, yes. And Queen Mary is in town as well. I think she's QE2, I think. Or is she Ocean?
I'm not sure, yeah. But yes, they're both Queen's Real. I am anticipating a great deal of honking on that day.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
I'm just hoping that Queen Anne doesn't leave before because very often they leave down the bottom end, don't they? Like the QE2 seems to go quite early, and then they start Mayflower. Is that usually quite late?
I would like to say there's rhyme and reason, but I'm not really sure.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that given the circumstances and it's the first time they've met, I'm hoping Cunard will do something, or they'll plan it so that at least the two ships pass. At least that'd be nice.
I would think so. I would think they would try and arrange it so that yes, both of them pass and honk at each other. That would be my guess. That would make a lot of sense.
And of course, we'll bring our yellow hand as well. You have to bring the yellow hand.
I know you're brilliantly visible with the yellow hand. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Do you know what made me think of that? I think it was watching your channel during the lockdown when we couldn't go anywhere, and obviously we were on the very first ship to leave, and I remember saying to you just before we went, I said, let's get a yellow hand out there having all the football matches, and I'm sure we'd be more visible because, yeah, we just thought we'd give it a go, and it worked.
Oh yeah, it works really well, and I guess they fold up quite small to a small space. Do you roll them up or something?
Yeah, you can manage to shove it into a backpack quite easily, can't you?
It's just a foam hand.
Yeah,
it's quite easy.
It does catch the wind quite a bit though, so very often I'll be waving, but I have to sort of wave with the one hand inside the hand, if that makes sense, and sort of hold it with the other one, don't I? Just to stop it from blowing away, because that could be embarrassing on a live.
Yeah, I'd be able to follow that as it flutters down.
Yeah.
Have you been on Queen Anne before, haven't you?
We were very lucky, and we were invited to the VIP pre-maiden press trip thing.
Yeah, so the overnight they had in Southampton, I think, on the 30th of 1st?
Was it first? I'm not sure.
Were they-
First of May.
Yeah.
And how was that? Were they heavily pushing the pros and cons of the ship for you?
At the time, it was. It wasn't at full capacity, obviously. They were still actually, when we were walking around the ship, they were still actually filling and putting furniture and things into cabins, weren't they?
Yeah.
But we really enjoyed it. It was
We were kind
mind-blowing.
of left to do our own thing as well.
Yeah.
We'd open dining at night, so we could go to the restaurant whenever we were ready. We were expecting, the normal kind of cruise thing, get kicked off at 8:30, but
It was very
basically we were told to leave when we were ready. It
Yeah.
was good.
It was really, we were really, which has probably made us more excited to go back on the ship because we've kind of dipped our toe in the water, so to speak.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to see all the changes because we went on Queen Victoria back in December on a Christmas cruise, so it was quite fresh in our minds. So we could directly compare the two ships mentally, couldn't we? She's very different to the others, very modern, but I still felt Cunard, if that made sense.
Yes, I hear there's been a few teething problems, but
Yeah. We're hoping it'll be ironed out by the time we get back on board. We'll report back, I'm sure.
excellent. Looking forward to watching that one. And it's what is it? 1 week for the fields?
Just the 1 week, yeah.
Yeah, it's a week. We've got a sea day, then we're in Bergen. We've got Flam, Olden, Haugesund, a sea day, and then back to Southampton.
Yeah.
So we're hoping for some sunshine.
Yeah, it's been a bit hit and miss with the weather. There was a couple of weeks ago where it was awful here in Southampton, and one of the shipmates who was on the field said it was absolutely fantastic. No,
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, I think those lines have got there's a bit of tension on them. I think they're setting off, are they?
Yeah, the tugs are ready. I think the Celebrity Apex was going to nip away first, but she hasn't moved yet either.
Okay.
And we've still got all of the lines attached.
This might sound like a random question. I don't know if
Yes.
anybody in the chat might know. You might know yourself. Why are the tugs always called as like Svitzer and then a name? Because we've got the same down here in Milford Haven. We have a lot of Svitzer, and then they call them like local things like we have.
Yeah, well,
Vic and stuff.
Svitzer is the name of the company.
Right. Okay. So it's like a Ford. Like
Yeah, so
Mondeo.
yeah, so Svitzer Tugs. I think they're a German company
Okay.
or a Swiss company. I don't remember which one now.
Well, explain why we put
Oh,
some
that's
down
right,
in
yeah.
Expensive in the charge.
Yeah, because I know we have Svitzer Gellerswick. I see on our what do you call it, vessel finder app. Very often see them. And I think is it Hubberston I see?
There's a few, isn't
There's
there?
a few. They're like local names.
Yes, they do tend to always like use the local names of the tugs that are based in the area. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very Svitzer thing to do.
Okay, interesting to know.
I can hear some horns, but I thought I could hear it on the microphone, but I'm not hearing the same thing on the microphone. I'm not sure what's going on there. There's water in the microphone. Or it's so windy out there, it might be blowing the horn noise away, of course.
Might be that spider again we saw.
We did see a spider in the road, didn't we?
Yes, I noticed that. I'm surprised he's hanging on in all this wind.
That's probably what he's doing, hanging on. That's why we can see him on camera. It's a plea for help.
Yeah. I mean, when the wind has died a little bit, it was really bad this afternoon. We even had a bit of hail this morning.
Yeah. It looks quite bright down there now, though.
Yeah, it is. The sun's come out, yeah.
Yeah. It's dried up. It's stopped raining here now at the moment. So
Right, so you say you've been cruising for about 10 years, or was I talking to you earlier?
it'll be 10 years now in October this year since we
Yeah.
went on our very first cruise.
So our first cruise I think was about October, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was on Pinot Aurora, that one. And we had no idea what to expect, and we instantly fell in love with it after that.
Yeah.
And how many cruises do you think you've done to date?
I think somebody asked me earlier. I think it's 38 on our app. But we've got, I don't know how many we've got booked coming up. We've got about another 4 coming up, haven't we? We've done quite a few.
Yeah, I think it's about 38 to 40 completed. We've done a couple of back-to-back cruises as well, so sometimes the app counts that as one. But
We've done a lot of short cruises, especially at the beginning. We sort of played with it around quite a bit, didn't we? We sort of did P&O, Cunard, back to P&O, a lot of party sort of cruises with friends, just to introduce them into cruising, basically, didn't we? And then we started, I think, our first week-long cruise was our honeymoon in June.
Sorry, someone's just subscribed. Oh, there's shipmate.
Yeah, so
Pyro
2016,
laptop.
It was our first week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Out of all those cruises, do you have a particular favourite?
Oh, you can't ask that, no.
Again,
That's a difficult one.
Well, I don't like to ask which one was the worst one, so that doesn't seem like the right one to be asking. So, particularly memorable one particularly good weather or something, or one that you thought was turned out better than expected.
We did really enjoy Virgin Voyages.
Ah,
that
okay.
that surprised us. We were,
Because that's quite different, isn't it? The Virgin
very
Voyage.
different, yeah. But refreshing, very refreshing. Queen Marie 2 is always a pleasure. She's one of our favourite ships. I think just because she's an ocean liner, the sheer scale of it, the nostalgia and the history.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, we've got a staple P&O. They're always our go-to, really, aren't they? We like them.
We did love our time in Arabia. The Caribbean was brilliant.
Yeah. Never really had a bad one. The worst experience we ever had, which wasn't really down to the cruise line as such, as we had cases not turn up on Oceania.
Yeah.
I think we went to Dubrovnik and, well, it was, what was it, Italy and Croatia.
Yeah,
cruise.
from Malta, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the letter. And we were on the plane, we sat on the plane and we were sitting there. We saw our cases getting loaded on, and then all of a sudden we saw a load of cases getting offloaded. And I said, Gavin, your case has just been offloaded. What's going on? As it happened, I don't know what, something to do with the weight of the plane.
The plane was overweight.
So they'd offloaded a load of cases. So we arrived in Valletta to find I had a case, Gavin didn't, although we could sort of sense it was coming. So we had to do a mad dash shop around to find clothes and things for you, didn't we, and toiletries and stuff.
Too many Yorkie bars in your suitcase then, was it?
Sorry?
Too many Yorkie bars in your suitcase, weighing the plane down.
But it arrived with us 2 days later, didn't it?
2 days
It
later.
caught us up in port.
Yeah, it was quite good though. The entertainment staff were kind of to lend us tuxedos, things like that, because they were in your case. You had a bigger case than me, so all of that sort of stuff went in his. Yeah, we managed to borrow a case. We had a LMS shave, didn't we? Because our electric shavers were in the case, so we were pampered really. They looked after us. I'll give them that, didn't they?
Excellent. Well, it can't be as bad as I did hear on the radio once that one of the ships was delayed departing because some suitcases had fallen off into the water. So at least you got your suitcases back.
Yeah, I think we heard about that.
Yeah,
one, didn't we? We
people-
were in port that time, weren't we?
I think
When we were on the ship.
wasn't that in the I want to say Miami somewhere, wasn't it? It happened recently in Miami, I think. That's why I always put my clothes in black bags. People laugh, but I always put my clothes in black bin bags just in case it falls in the ocean. Because I think, well, if they do manage to grab it quickly, one, the bags might act as sort of flotation devices to full of air, and secondly, my clothes might not be as wet.
So most people use packing cubes when they go away. Use black bin bags.
Yeah. Council finest black bin bags. I have upgraded to vacuum bags these days, though. Yeah. I had a few comments on one of our videos before. They were like, I just love this. You're unpacking your case. Why is Luke taking his clothes out of a bin bag? And I happened to be on a balcony, and you could see them coming up this little conveyor belt thing at the side of the ship. And I said, no, it just takes a gust of wind or something to go wrong, and all those cases would be in the ocean. So I said, this is why I put my clothes in black bags.
It's very true. It's very true. Yeah. It's okay. A good tip
Yeah, here's
from
my
the cruise
packing
monkeys
advice,
there.
bin bags.
I've often thought of making mine more like the emergency life raft that you throw over a boat, so that if it falls in the water, it goes and blows up, and blows away.
It'd probably blow up so fast it would bounce up onto the ship.
Yes. I haven't.
So, Captain, do you have any cruises coming up?
I don't. I'm hoping to get on board. Oh, blimey! What is it now? I've got to. I keep applying to get on board ships, and I keep being told that I didn't apply quickly enough, and I've been denied access. But I've got another one coming up soon. I can't think. I've tried for 3 times on Queen Anne and keep missing out. What's the one I'm going on to next? Let's have a look. I'm not very good with names. I sort of come in my ear and go out my ear the other end. Let's have a look. It is one that I wasn't particularly familiar with. It's an Oceania cruise. Oceania Marina.
Oh, lovely. We've had friends who've sailed on Oceania, and they loved it, didn't they? Absolutely loved it. That was Ken and Lindsay. They really, they spoke very highly of Oceania, didn't they?
Yeah,
They're trying to get us to go on them.
Yeah, so I've never been on Oceania, so I should be looking forward to that. And I'm just looking through the invites. I'm not actually sure where it is.
Okay.
Sometimes it's in Portsmouth, but I think this one. Yeah, it is. This one's in Portsmouth as well. Yeah, so that's just down the road.
Yeah. See, for us, we get invites to things, but because we live so far away, it gets quite difficult. And we weigh it in and sort of say, well, we've got to drive all that way. It basically takes us a day to get to Southampton. And then by the time we're there, we think we'll be there for a couple of hours, and then we'll have to stay overnight and drive back. It gets quite costly.
Yes, it does. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
which is
right.
why it was so lovely when a ship just pops up on your doorstep like the other day. That was absolutely fantastic. That literally a mile away from where we live. So
that's fantastic. Makes quite a difference, doesn't it? There was one last month I was trying to get onto, which was Sea Spirit, which was an Antarctic exploration yacht.
Okay. Oh yeah, lovely.
That mainly goes around Falkland Islands, the Antarctic. That's all that normally does. But they came back, I think, for some upgrades. So they did they have refitted in Tenerife, and then they came into Portsmouth, I think, for some upgrades to their navigation equipment. But unfortunately, the refit overran in the Tenerife. So by the time I got to Portsmouth, there wasn't enough time for us to get on board. But yeah, we should have had a day and a night on board, going out on the sea kayaks and the inflatables and all those sorts of things, exploring the whole thing. But that's a shame. Missed that one. I'm consistently missing these at the moment.
Yeah, you have to be very quick. I think we had one where we were meant to go on the brand new Sun Princess. We were on here. It wasn't meant to be her maiden voyage, but it became her maiden voyage. And about 2 days before the cruise was about to depart, we were told it had been cancelled, and we'd already packed and everything, hadn't we? So in a mad dash, I decided to book Pinot Azzurro to the Canaries, which was lovely, wasn't it? And we went on that, and whilst we were on it, they did a press trip thing, an invite for that one.
Yeah, but we were
actually at sea, so we couldn't reply, we didn't have signal. And by the time we actually read the message, it was too late. All the spaces were filled.
They do go very quick when there's a familiarisation trip and stuff.
Yeah, especially something like that, being brand new. That was a shame, but we'll have to get back on Sun Princess. I think we do like Princess quite a lot.
Yeah, someone was asking me earlier about princesses, and I said they're different, but they're somewhat similar to a P&O in my experience. That sort of level, it's a different take.
It's sort of like the way I see it on this neck of the woods, I would say Princess are like the American version of P&O.
They've got a homely feel of a P&O ship, haven't they?
They have, yeah. We like them quite a lot, very homely, like you said.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
And their drinks package and their Wi-Fi and their gratuities, I think it's quite reasonable as well, isn't it? Like £50 per person.
Yeah, the Princess
a day.
Plus package is pretty good.
Very reasonable, in fairness. It makes it easy for you to budget then.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's budgeting can be quite tricky, can't it, when you just keep touching your card on things.
Yeah. When you're on holiday and you've had a couple, you just think, oh yeah, carry on. Then you rock up home, you look at the statement, and
dread kicks in.
Yeah.
I normally try and get away without spending a penny on board if I can help it. Yeah, so we have, if you've just joined us, we have Gavin and Luke, the cruise monkeys, with us.
Hello everybody.
And we also have lots of horrible weather. And we do have 5 cruise ships, of which 2 are now running late. Or actually, saying that, I think Celebrity Apex is on the move. Celebrity Apex is on the move, so I think we're going to wait. Celebrity Apex apparently doesn't need a tug.
Oh, cool.
So we've got 5 ships here in Port. So we've got Ventura at the far end, MSC Virtuoso at the far end, the Celebrity Apex just on the move, and then we're looking at which we'll look at in a second, the tug on Sky Princess, and then Iona is also important. So I think it will be Celebrity Apex, then Sky Princess, and then what will be after Iona after that, probably. So slightly delayed. So which one of these ships have you been on then, shipmate? Sky Princess, Celebrity Apex, Iona, MSC Virtuoso, and Ventura?
We have been on all of them, bar Apex, but we have been on Celebrity Beyond, which is her sister ship.
Right.
So we've got a pretty good feel for the ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're lucky enough to have been on all of them.
Okay, we've done Iona twice, haven't we?
Iona twice, Sky Princess twice,
Virtuosa 4
Virtuosa a
times.
few times. We've had a few back-to-backs on Virtuosa.
Ventura
twice as well. Yeah, we're very lucky. Very lucky.
So out of, well, I suppose I'm guessing out of those 5 ships today, you'd probably go on the one you haven't been on. That'd be your choice, would it?
I don't know actually. I do quite like Iona, but then I like the size of like Ventura sort of size ship is just about my kind of comfort zone.
I would give Apex a go.
Yeah.
When we tried Celebrity Beyond, it was out of Miami, and it was in January, and I don't know whether it was kind of passenger demographic or whatever, but the ship didn't
really fit our timings.
No.
We seemed to miss everything. We were very late when we dined. We sort of dined about 7-8 o'clock, and I found people on board dine earlier and then experience the entertainment and the parties afterwards, whereas by the time they're partying, we're having our food, and then when we were coming out they were all going to bed sort of thing because we were late.
You sound like me. That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to maybe try it from the UK. I think we'd also feel a bit more refreshed. We'd have the jet lag as well. There was a very beautiful ship. Beyond was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, they are very nice iron ships.
Very, how would you say, quirky? I would say, like the decks are very slopey. I don't know, very axy downy, like a lot of very artistic, isn't it?
Yeah. Those balconies, you can see they're quite controversial as well, because they're kind of an enclosed kind of balcony. Well, like infinite verandas, they call them.
Oh, okay, all right.
So the top window slides down.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't like them because the captain can turn them off, basically, so you're stuck with a ocean view if that happens.
You're talking about these balconies here with the sort of up. You're a bit delayed on this signal, but yes, I can see the up and down, like the old-fashioned slide windows.
Yeah. I quite liked it myself. I found it made the room feel a lot bigger because you haven't got the solid door going onto the balcony, so it makes because you've got like these partitions that you can fold. But a lot of people don't like the fact the aircon goes off, doesn't it, when the window's open? But I mean, if you want to keep the aircon in your room, you could just close your partition doors. They're almost like Japanese sort of style, aren't they? Give you that feel.
The window could also be quite noisy, I suppose, as well, if you were waking up early.
There was that, yeah. If he was sleeping and I wanted to see something, I thought, oh, look, let's get a bit of fresh air. The window's like, and it would wake you up. Didn't matter.
Oh, it's electrically operated.
Yeah, you push like this remote control, don't you? And it's like, it didn't stop on the button. It either goes, doesn't it go all the way up or all the way down? It doesn't do like a stop.
No, I think you can make it stop, but it's so painfully slow as well.
Sort of like a 1980s Ford Capri or something.
Yeah. And that back bit there, you can see with the glass. It's just going off screen now. It's called Eden inside there. It's very beautiful. Loads of like plants and things. They do entertainment in there. It's a nice lounge area.
Yeah.
I found, I don't normally get seasick, but if I've had a bit too many to drink the night before, I sort of tend to suffer the next day. I did find those sort of, as I was saying, slopey walkways to sort of amplify the seasickness. I found it disorientating. Because if you look at the top as well, just coming around, you can see pool deck where you've got that funky like light. It looks like a screen from here. The deck actually goes up and down. It's like a figure of 8, like a racetrack kind of thing, like the old Scalextrics, isn't it?
Yes.
The walking track. That's the sort of thing you find in a lot of spaces around the ship. It's very slopey.
It's I'd say slightly design over functionality, I'd say, when it comes to these ships.
I always likened them to more like a sort of boutique hotel.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it's extremely stylish. And I did like the what do they call it? Is it the grill at the top, the guard? Like it's a
rooftop guard.
Rooftop grill. That's lovely that is.
Which
They also boast the largest pools in the industry.
I think
they were the longest, at least. You can get some lengths in, I think. I'm not sure about Apex. I'm confused. There's a few, isn't there? And some of them are slightly longer than the others. I'm not sure where this one, Apex, fits into this.
Yeah, certainly.
Started off with Edge, didn't we?
Yeah, the one I went on had grass on the top. And real grass, which was quite nice.
Oh, lovely. Was that the is that the Silhouette?
I think it was Silhouette, yes.
Yeah, that seems. They don't have that on this. Well, they didn't have it on Beyond, did they? It was more.
They've got the rooftop garden, which has got real plants in it.
Yeah. an infinity pool as well, which looks over the edge. That's quite nice. Nice touch. Yeah, they're very, very pretty ships. There's a lot of art around them as well, like stylish sculptures and things.
Yes, I noticed that.
Had this. Was it an elephant? What was the elephant doing? Was it doing something? Was it holding a man? Or was it just an elephant?
I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember now. So I've slept a lot since then. I'm drunk a lot. Yeah, they're lovely ships.
Yeah, I was very impressed. There was also a restaurant where it was sort of an augmented reality restaurant where it shone down onto the table video of what you're eating and explained where it came from. So that was quite interesting.
Oh, was it Le Petit Chef? The little French guy. He's almost like a chipmunk kind of voice, is it?
I can't remember. I did record it a little while ago.
I remember, now you've mentioned it, I remember there was Le Petit Chef on Beyond. Yeah. And you sat down and he was saying how his nan used to cook food. And
that sounds about right.
He'd be like riding bees and things around the plate, and he'd sort of put the food on the side and then throw it on the plate. And then once he's finished, like it's all projection, then they actually bring the course out. They put the plate in front of you. It's quite fun, especially when you've had a few glasses of wine. It's good.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting. I hadn't seen that before. Yeah.
The steakhouse was lovely over here as well.
Yeah.
I'd say out of all the dining experiences we've had on any cruise ship, I will say the steakhouse is the top at the present, isn't it?
I'd say very closely followed by then. I think I posted this on one of our things yesterday. My owner is Cow. Very good.
I do like the beach house as well. That's lovely. Very informal, very relaxed. I do like the beach house.
Yeah, what's the beach house then?
The beach house is basically, it's in the buffet area. By day, the space is part of the buffet. In the evening, it becomes its own restaurant, and you pay, it's roughly about £10 roughly per person, like a cover charge. And then there are certain things, most things are included on the menu, but there are elevated things such as your lava steak, which I absolutely love.
Lava steak?
Yeah, it comes out like a hot rock.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Sizzling, so you can sort of cook it as you want. You can take pieces off, put it back on. That's good. I do like that, and it's quite cheap. Really.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like South American-y kind of comfort food on there as well, isn't it? Yeah, we never used to rate it, to be honest, but we've come to quite enjoy the beach house.
Oh. It's good to hear.
So Celebrity Apex is well underway now. That pool area is quite cool as well. I don't know if you can see it on the camera there now. It looks like some sort of botanical garden kind of dome thing on the top. Inside there's a pool area. It's an indoor pool. There's hot tubs. It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
and they're actually like inflated. They're not glass. They're sort of inflated, aren't they? Like balloons.
It looks like it. Yeah, I can see it. Sort of looks like a big plastic bubble that you might pop. Comes in the post.
It's very quiet in there. That's one thing we found quite unusual. You were so used to this being some sort of a bar by a pool area. There was no bar there, was it? It was more like a health. Was it like a health counter thing with smoothies?
Yeah, I think it was a smoothie counter there, wasn't it? Which I don't think we used.
No, we didn't use that. Unless we could have had a strawberry smoothie maybe and put some rum in it perhaps and had a daiquiri. I don't know. But
there you go. Now you're talking.
Yeah.
It's just like when we're on Princess and we order kind of hot chocolates. You also order a Baileys or something else to put in the hot chocolate.
I thought about doing that.
Of course, you've got those hot tubs there by the main pool area, which you can just sort of see the. They're like champagne ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they're quite cool.
My technology's having a bit of an argument with me this moment. Don't stop. If I talk to it, hopefully it will obey.
That's what they need. They need like AI that actually just you tell a computer what you want it to do and it does it for you. Now that would be smart. I'd be happy with that. I'm not very technical at all. I've got to put my hand up. It's all Gavin.
Well, you do all the videos now. You might do all that. You're the creative one.
How do you find editing videos for YouTube?
What? Sorry.
How do you find editing videos YouTube? Hard work, or do you enjoy it?
it can be. I usually find audio is the most challenging part, trying to get audio to be consistent, because sometimes you're in places that have a lot of background noise. Sometimes you're quiet by, you don't want to be talking loud, like you want to whisper. Other times you've got wind. It's quite difficult to sometimes edit that, so it's sort of consistent.
But the videos are filmed
itself
and edited completely on an iPhone.
Yeah,
which surprises a lot of people.
but that's my level of this is what I'm saying about patience and things. I can't be firing up laptops and doing things that I like. I like the flexibility of using my phone. That's how I do it. If I'm waiting in the dentist, or I'm sat in the car waiting for Gavin to do something, he might be whatever. I can edit anywhere I choose, which is kind of convenient.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I mean, iPhones actually prefer a lot of modern phones these days.
Yeah,
I've recently very respectable footage.
Yeah, recently got a new iPhone because my old one decided to give up the ghost on me. Maybe I burnt it out, I don't know. But I've got a new one now, and I'm actually quite surprised how well it zooms in. We've been testing it locally, like on tankers and things, because when you're on a ship and you video something on an iPhone, and a ship seems to the eye quite close, but when you look at it on your phone, it looks like it's miles.
It's just a dot, isn't it?
Yeah, but they've actually seemed to improve it now, so you can actually zoom right in and get some good footage.
Yeah, audio. You go back to the audio question. Audio is a real problem because I find it's either windy, which causes a real problem, or there's background music playing, which also causes a problem.
Yes, because the background music gives you the copyright then, which is a nuisance, and they seem to pump that out every year these days. Do you know where Apex is off to?
I'm just looking that up. I'm trying to persuade the cameras to one of them is not letting me see what I'm doing, and the other one is being very slow and tardy. It's almost like they've had enough with this bad weather.
Don't blame them.
Where is Apex off to? Let's have a look. Swallow the Spanish has filled in the chat. Yes, a 12-night round trip to Scandinavia, calling in at Helsinki, Tallinn, Stockholm, Visby, Gotland Island and Skegin.
Very nice. That's one itinerary we've not done from Southampton, to be honest. We'd quite like to.
Yeah, how many times have you cruised from Southampton? You must have done a few.
Oh, yeah, it's like a go-to really, because it's not that we hate flying for any particular reason, but we just hate the faff that's with flying. So Southampton's quite nice because even though it's a 5-hour journey for us, once we get there, a holiday starts. You haven't got the airport check-in and security and all that rubbish, basically. And like you mentioned earlier, there's no jet lag, is there? Exactly. So I'd say probably 90% of the cruises we've done have been from Southampton. We've done Barcelona, Malta, and then Miami are the only ones we've kind of flown to do cruises. But if we can, we'd rather sail from Southampton. But if you want to go somewhere nice and warm, it's probably not always a good option to go to Southampton, is it? That's true. Especially if you want to get somewhere warm quickly. Yeah, so if there's anyone in the chat has any questions for the Cruise Monkeys while they're here, I'm sure they'll be happy to answer any questions you have. Just as long as it's not, what's our favourite cruise? Because it's too hard to answer. Too hard to answer, yeah. Or favourite ship, that's another hard one. Yeah. Well, I could definitely answer what my favourite cruise is, that's for sure. The one I'm not paying for. I can't get my cameras to cooperate at the moment. It must be all a wind. I think it must be. They're it's the way it works. I'm using a web browser, but I've got multiple browsers open, and then when I click on one browser to move the camera, the image goes, and I can't see where I'm moving it to. It's an infrequent problem that happens quite often, and I don't really know what the solution is. So I sort of ignore it, because next time it won't happen. It doesn't happen for quite a while. Though it looks like, I think that's... This camera in the right place. Come on, camera. No, that's pointing at the sky. That's a couple of
tugs on Princess, but she's not moving just yet. Celebrity Apex passing Dockhead on her way to Scandinavia.
Just saying, there's one place we've not been to.
No, we'd love to go. We did have a cruise booked actually on Sky Princess. Was it Sky or was it Crown?
It was Crown.
Crown, sorry. But that got cancelled. That was during the pandemic, wasn't it? We had a few cancelled then. We haven't been back since. We need to. I'd love to go there. Oslo and Copenhagen. Do they go? Is it Christiansand and? I'm not sure.
Christiansand, yeah.
Those sort of itineraries.
A couple of questions here for you, Cruise Monkeys. Question from shipmate Leonie Williams says, how long have you been doing YouTube?
We have been doing it, well, probably be about 10 years now, December. Our first ever video to hit YouTube was Queen Mary 2. Back in the day, it's got copyrighted music all over it. It's all very pouty, posy. I don't know what it is really. It's when you look back at your first videos and they change a lot. But that's our very first video. But I'd say we really got into it and started doing it properly, would you say 2018?
2018, 2019. I think it's when we did Bellissima. Was it Bellissima at the Southampton?
That's when we really started. And I do recall, when we started talking, that made a big difference. We actually started being ourselves on camera, because it used to all be lots of music. We call it the silent era. It was lots of music and just like pan, shot of this, shot of that. We were a bit shy, weren't we, at the start?
I think Fraser said something similar last week, didn't he?
It's funny how you evolve over time, but that's how we start. So it'll be about 10 years in 10 years in December since we started our channel. But I say it really kicked off probably about 2018, 2019 properly.
Yeah, excellent. I noticed you seem to be growing well. Your subscribers account is on the increase.
Yeah.
We kind of go slow and steady, I think, is how we're looking at it. We've got a lot of our followers are really kind of supportive,
very
loyal.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we wanted more so, and build a community around it as well.
I was just going to say that the community it's worth its weight in gold. It's so lovely.
Yeah,
it's obviously the Facebook group now as well, so it gives us more of an opportunity to talk about things, because YouTube is good for you've got the odd comments, but sometimes it's nice to get into a conversational chat, isn't it? Properly.
Exactly.
And other people can help out as well in the group. I find this quite useful.
I certainly find you've got to be careful what you say with the group of shipmates I have, because if I say anything wrong, I'll get 10 comments saying, no, it's not that, it's this, it's not.
Yeah.
You got it wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody's human. We all do mistakes.
And the thing is, it gets to the point where you look at it and you think, I've been on so many ships that start to, in your head, merge into each other. Especially if you've been on sister ships, it's like, say for instance, Azura and Ventura, the same venue on each ship, but they've got different names, and very often I might call one the other name, if that makes sense, from the wrong ship. I get them crossed over, but Gavin and all know. People sometimes it doesn't dawn on them straight away, does it? Because you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody will correct me.
Yeah, it is a challenge. I must say, sister ships are particularly the worst from the same cruise line. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can walk around the ship and get which ship you're on.
Yeah. I mean, Cunard we're quite lucky with. Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria, they're pretty much exactly the same. There's not much difference in them at all, is there? Names of rooms, the lot. You could, But yeah, Ventura, Azura, same ship, but different names of the same room.
Shipmate Nick Corbin asks the Cruise Monkeys, what is your favourite cocktail?
I'm going to say I do quite like, I'm going to bring up the beach house again. I do quite like the Bedita, I think it's called. That's my new favourite at the moment. I recently tried it for the first time on Azura, on our Canaries cruise, and I haven't had one since I've come home, and I'd love one. But yeah, they're really nice. It's sort of like a bit like a frozen cocktail, like a pina colada or a strawberry daiquiri. But it's, I believe it was it passion fruit and mango or something?
I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It had a different taste, but I really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And I was quite lucky. I got chatting to the barman, or lady. What they would do is, we used to drink at the terrace bar during the day, so we got to know the staff there quite well. And that bar would serve the beach house in the evening. And by right, you're supposed to only get the Bedita at the beach house, aren't you?
I think that's the only place you see it on the menu.
Yeah, it's the only place you see it on the menu. But she was making it for me, bless her. They were very good to us like that.
I'll always go for a pina colada. I think that's a sign you're on holidays when you've got a pina colada in hand.
And
Yes,
if you can't make your mind up, you've got a Miami Vice, but P&O don't do them, do they?
No.
Who does a Miami Vice? Is it
MSC.
MSC do Miami Vice? Is this basically half and half?
But a nice gin and tonic. I'm quite happy.
Yeah. All good red.
Good red, excellent. Okay, so what was it again? A Bedito, did you call it?
A Bedita.
Adita, I believe it's called. And that's P&O Beach House.
I've not heard of one of those before. I shall have to give
I
that a look.
haven't, so-
Another question for the Cruise Monkeys from Jane Morris. Can you decide where the ads come in between your vlogs? They always seem to drop up at the worst time. Ooh.
Ooh.
It tends to, we tend to leave YouTube to do its thing for the ads, but we do actually remove some of the ads as well, because YouTube seems to stick them in every few minutes, so we tend to try and make sure there's at least 5 minutes between them. Yeah, we can look at that.
I found a little trick is there is if you have a couple of blank frames between a jump cut, then YouTube thinks, oh, that's a gap, and then it will drop the advert in there, so you can sort of force it to automatically put them into those sorts of places.
Yeah,
maybe something we need to look at a bit more.
The unfortunate thing is we can't get rid of ads altogether because I depend on the income.
Yeah, it's a wicked world, this world of capitalism. Okay,
we would get rid of them, but
yes.
There's a question from one of our shipmates in Texas, Shepherd Book. He's asking you, has anyone asked you cream or jam first on your scones?
The controversial. We always go jam first, don't we?
Jam first, the Cornish way.
Yeah, we're jam first.
It sticks together about.
Yeah, it sticks besides mouth.
I didn't realise it was such a controversial subject myself.
No, not until YouTube and Facebook. I did not realise it was such a thing. But yes, some people will hate us now just for saying that.
Sorry.
It all goes down the hatch, anyways. Tastes the same.
Shipmate Sarah Hills asks, when is your next cruise and what is the destination?
So that's next week.
Yeah, it's our Sunday on Queen Anne to the fjords again. It's actually our 5th time to the fjords.
Oh, yes, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I think now we did Britannia for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Then we've done Arcadia, which was Norway and Iceland.
Yep.
Then we did we do Skye?
Yeah, Skye
After
to
that.
the fjords. Then we did Iona last year.
This is our 5th time now. Yeah.
So, and we're back again in September on Britannia for our group cruise.
Yeah.
So we love the fjords.
A group cruise? Is that with a group of friends of yours?
No, it's open to anyone really.
Yeah,
Our
so
subscribers, our Facebook.
Oh, I see. Right.
We put out. We've done one before on Virtuoso. When was that? May.
Last April.
Last April, May. Yeah. That was good. Good laugh.
Some horns.
That Sky Princess honking away.
She's on the way.
I was hoping for the theme to the Love Boat though. Ever since I've got a new outside microphone, all the Princess ships seem to refuse to use their horns.
I think they're really struggling with the wind there today, aren't they?
It certainly is windy.
It's probably pushing here against the actual berth, isn't it?
Yes, that's the problem. That's normally when the tugs come in. It's just a little hazardous. But they're quite capable of coming off the berth. But once wind's over 20 knots, you can have some really strong gusts, and I think that's the problem. If it was consistent wind, I think they could probably do it. But because it suddenly goes from 10 knots to 30 knots, then it just makes it really difficult. Shipmate Liz H asks, what's your favourite port? Careful with this one.
Well, yeah, as somebody said the other day, favourite port's got to be Southampton because that's where the cruise starts.
Excellent.
But I don't know, we've had some really nice Norwegian fjord ports, haven't
We
we?
also like Dubrovnik is always one of the top contenders. I'd say Dubrovnik.
Dubrovnik? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dubrovnik or Venice was nice.
Venice surprised me. I wasn't expecting to enjoy Venice as much as I did, but it was a beautiful port, that, and we were lucky enough to sail down the canal as well.
Oh, fantastic. Did you wander around Venice itself?
We did, yes.
Yes. I mean, we did what everybody says, just get completely lost in Venice, and that is probably the best thing to do. It was just so nice to just walk down these little streets and
We did
along
do
these canals.
is it St Mark's, the bell tower?
Yeah.
Yes, it
Which,
is.
if anyone's ever thinking of doing that, we highly recommend booking in advance, because when you get there, you'll see this enormous queue. And if you get your tickets ahead, you just go up to the door, because you've got the ticket, you just can go straight in,
Yep.
which is great. So it's a top tip if anyone's thinking of doing that.
Excellent. Top tip. We like top tips.
Yeah.
I'd say with Dubrovnik, since we've cruised in 2014, Dubrovnik's the only place we've actually gone back to on a land holiday.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's got to be our favourite.
Yeah.
Or Andalsnes up in Norway, that was very pretty, and I do believe they have a cable car or skylift there now, which I'm sure will be amazing. We've climbed that, what do you call it? Is it the Rampestracken, or is it the
Rampestracken.
It's like this mini mountain. We've actually hiked it twice to get to the top, haven't we?
There's a viewpoint as well, where you kind of walk out on like a cantilevered viewpoint. You walk out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Another question for the cruise monkeys from shipmate Ian Fryer. He says, which cruise lines do you prefer, large mega ships or the smaller ships? I think that's if you can answer that with your last ship visit, can't you, I suppose?
It depends. I would say it's heavily dependent on mood. A lot of people say there's a cruise line for everybody. I always say there's a mood for every cruise. If you want a party cruise, there's a cruise for that. If you want a quiet, relaxed cruise, there are cruises for that. I kind of tend to lean more towards the sort of size ship like Sky Princesses now. That's sort of probably about right for us. That and Ventura, Zura, the Grand class ships. That's the perfect.
Yeah, the mega ships like Iona, Avia, Virtuosa, they've got so much going on them. They're brilliant. But when you get into a port, because there's so many people on the ship, to get people on and off the ship, there's always queues and
of it, yeah.
There is something nice about smaller ships, and I think we might be a bit big shipped out, aren't we? But we were booked on Icon of the Seas, and we cancelled it because of the costs of it was just phenomenal. But looking back, we're kind of glad we might have cancelled it, because I think it'd be too big. You could never do a ship that size in 7 nights
in a week. Yeah, the maiden voyage I think should have been sold as 2 weeks at least, given how much is on board.
She's huge.
I think if you're on the bigger ships for a longer period of time, you've certainly got more to look at and explore.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. But then I suppose maybe that's what they're trying to do these days. I think if there's so much on board you can't fit it in, you might want to go back. So I think if you go for a week and you've not managed to do it all,
yeah, I think you definitely would. I'd definitely go back on some of the larger ships. I mean, you just can't get it all in. By the time you've been out for an excursion, you come back in, you have something to eat in the diner after a bit of a freshen up, and have a drink afterwards, and you think, oh, it's in another bar. I've not found this one before.
I'm sure we're not the only ones that come off a cruise more tired than we were going on it, are we? we normally need a holiday when we come off a cruise. Going straight back into the office the day after the cruise is pretty painful.
Yes, exactly. Shipmate Shepherd Book also asks, do you have a Patreon for extra support?
We do, actually. Don't
Yes, we do have patrons.
It does help us out a lot, especially with we've bought things like microphones and.
Yes, we use our
technology.
patron to buy our new tech, basically, and then in return they get kind of ad-free versions of our videos. We send some postcards out and things like that.
We try to get our videos earlier. Well, as soon as they're edited, I give them to patrons pretty much straight away. Sometimes without the voiceover, depends on how rushed I am. That's what we try to do. We do have a patron, don't we?
Yes. Right.
I'm sure that's if you go to the Cruise Monkeys YouTube page, I'm sure it has links to all the various.
You get that on the Cruise Monkeys page as well.
Excellent, good. What else have we got here? Shipmate Liz H says, who's your favourite captain? Got to be Wesley? Question mark.
I do like Wesley. I've had a chat with him a few times. I haven't actually met him yet. We've on a cruise on Iona once, and I think it was as Canby was getting off, Wesley was coming on, and I remember we were disembarking, and just as we were disembarking, I could hear Wesley talking. He was the first announcer. I said, "Oh, he's on."
He's a very popular captain.
I do really like. I like Captain Inga. She's lovely.
Yes.
Captain Wells from the Queen Mary, or Commodore Wells. He's no longer working for Cunard now, but they were lovely. I really liked them. Who else have we met captain-wise? I think I'd say Captain Chris Wells and Captain Inga.
Yeah, I'd say
favourites. I've met them a few times, but especially on the VIP Maiden, managed to have a little chat with them, didn't I? May have been
a drunken chat.
3 sheets to the wind, but yeah, it was all. Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Shipmate. I've missed it now. Where's he gone? Someone says, shipmate James Watt says, when are you next on the Sky Princess? James,
wow.
Shipmate James Taylor.
We have, as we had our cruise on Sun Princess cancelled, we have got 700. Is it £700 future cruise credit to use? We're not sure what we're going to do with it yet. We've got a couple of plans, a couple of ideas knocking around. Nothing planned for Sky yet.
But it might end up being Sky.
It might end up being Sky if we can't find anything, because we have a lot of friends going on here next year. Mm-hmm. So we might join them.
But the problem we've got is I work full time, so I only get so many holidays off the year, and I've run out of holidays for this year.
Yeah, and I've decided I want to go on the longest, most furthest away cruise I can find, because it's a dream thing. But yeah, we'll go into it too much. But yeah, we've got plans. We hope we'll have to see what we. I do like Sky Princess quite a lot.
We're not even halfway through the year, and you've used up all your holiday.
Well, that's kind of booked for the cruises we've got booked ahead as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I've got like 3 days leave left that I can actually book between now and the end of December. So, any more cruises are going to be, well, don't know how I'm going to work that one if we go on any more. Might have to end up working while I'm on the ship.
Yeah,
they have to be a short one, aren't they?
Yeah.
Shipmate Mike S apologises. He's just joined in and asks, if you had to take just one more cruise, what would it be?
Just one cruise.
One more for the rest of your life.
I would go to French Polynesia somewhere, I think. That's where I'd go.
And I'd probably go down Australia,
New
Zealand, that kind of area. They're the bucket lists.
They're the bucket lists, are they?
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's have a look. What else have we got here?
Another tip for people as well, if you're looking at this now and you're watching Sky Princess leave, if you book an obstructed balcony cabin, you can see it there above. It looks like it'd be Alfredo's, and right at the front I think it's Deluxe. They're really good value. Their class is obstructed because they've got the restaurant underneath, haven't they?
Whereabouts are they?
So sorry, it's probably past.
So the ones you've got
there now, with the white front part of the actual bow, they sort of protrude from the side of the ship a lot more than the others. I don't know if you can see they've got like these metal screens between them.
Oh yes, I think I see what you're talking about.
Classed as obstructed deluxe balcony cabins, but they're not really obstructed. In my opinion, they're better than a conventional balcony cabin because they're a lot deeper. And the obstruction is the fact that the front is just metal. It's not glass. There's absolutely no obstruction, in my opinion, whatsoever. We were lucky enough to have one of those. We went to Norway last time on Sky, and I think it was E106. So it's absolutely enormous. It was bigger than...
There's 2 shipmates there now as well.
Yeah, there's 2 shipmates there now.
Yeah, so that's the ones you're talking about, right down there.
That's the biggest one they can get as well. They've chose really well, those 2. But yeah, that's worth looking into. And then in the middle of the ship, between the lifeboats, you'll see like a glass window. That's Alfredo's pizzeria. If you book the balconies, they're standard balconies, I believe, but their class is obstructed as well because they've got the restaurant underneath.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone's ever looking and thinking of booking Sky, and you think, oh, it's obstructed, I'd rather pay full price and have an obstructed view. They're really not obstructed.
It does pay to look at the deck plans when you're booking a cruise. Look online, YouTube videos, or on some of the websites, and look at the cabins, because you can get some cracking deals on cabins which might be obstructed but aren't actually obstructed, or quirky cabins that give you extra space and stuff for the same price as a standard balcony. Or
good tips.
Quirky cabins, yeah.
Do you prefer a balcony? Is that your preference?
I think you always prefer a balcony, but it depends how much you can afford, really. We've gone on inside several times. If it means we get to cruise twice as often, we'll take insides, but obviously a balcony is better. It's nice to have a bit of fresh air.
Yeah, we try, and if we do go for an inside, we'll try and choose it so it's quite close to a deck space, so you can get out about. and get some fresh air, really.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, make it inside, but make it accessible, quickly
Yeah, I
accessible.
think-
Yeah.
On Oceania, Oceania P&O, we once booked an inside room, and it was literally, you have the aft terrace at the back. Some people may be familiar with the ship. You have the aft terrace at the back, you go through a door, and there was an inside cabin, basically, just as you open the main door. We had our room there. So basically, the aft terrace was our balcony, is the way we looked at it. Obviously, you've got people going in and out, so you may hear the door banging from time to time, traffic. But for the amount of time we were in the room, it really didn't bother us. We were just blown away by the fact we could nip in and out whenever we chose. While you were getting ready, I could go outside and I had the whole deck to myself.
We did a similar thing on Aurora a couple of weeks back.
Yeah,
that was,
exactly.
that was only 20 feet from 10
Yeah.
feet probably from the door.
Usually it's conveniently close to a bar as well. So that's what's happening.
Excellent top tips there. All right, excellent, good stuff. All right, that's good to know. I didn't know about those obstructed balconies right at the front there. I can see what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
to be honest, it fulfills your requirement of a balcony. You've got a view, but I guess it's not quite the view you might expect. So it is obstructed, but generally it sounds really good.
Another popular one on those princess ships is above the bridge. You've got those forward-facing balconies as well. They're quite popular.
And their class is obstructed too. However, I mean, I've not actually heard anyone say it's happened to them, but apparently, if it's windy, they do the cabin attendant might actually lock your door, though. So that is something to bear in mind with those, because obviously it's so forward. But yeah, they'd be fantastic in the fjords, because if you put a camera up there as you were sailing along, you'd get the bow and everything in, wouldn't you? It'd be amazing.
I was thinking about the YouTube.
Yeah.
So some of our shipmates here. My questions keep whizzing off the top of the screen here. Let's get them back. Shipmate Justin Calica asks an important question. What's your favourite pub pre-cruise
Right, okay.
in the port of Southampton here?
In Southampton, I'm going to say, I'm cheap and cheerful, me. I do quite like the standing order.
Standing order. He asks dancing man or standing order was his question.
Yes, do you like the...
Yeah, I'm dancing man. I quite like it down there.
Yeah, I do like that. And we have, not that we stay there very often, we do like the views and all you get from the harbour on 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's nice. But to be honest, we usually only ever get to go there for one drink, because once you've had one, we're nearly broke. So we have to leave and go to Wetherspoons at for the rest of the night.
And we did a few months back. Went to the Brewdog place, didn't we?
Yeah, that was
there was
really
a quiz
nice.
night on, so
Yeah.
we met friends there, and yeah, that was quite nice. I hadn't been there before, but yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah, I quite like the dancing man. I would say that. Well, next time you're down, we'll meet up for a
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be good.
pint at the dancing man.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have we got here? Questions. So the chat keeps moving every time. There's some people on deck 18 mid waving. Let's see if we can see where they are.
Okay. So they'd be where the Sailaway party is. Are they by the screen, possibly?
Deck 18, yeah.
That'd be the top. That would be, if you... in
Okay.
front of the screen, possibly?
Difficult to know. It's quite difficult to know where people are on the ship. It's
If they had a yellow hand, so you'd be able to see straight away.
exactly. I mean, one of the best things to do is to go near the name of the ship, because that's quite easy for me to identify at a distance. Yeah, I'll probably miss that one. Yeah. It is funny weather out there today. It's blowing the old cameras around. It's not very good in the
No.
wind.
Can't tell from... So they're probably having Sailaway party now, aren't they? So they could possibly be watching that.
Normally on the if the wind's in the right direction on the Princess ships, you can actually hear it in port. You can hear the music
Yeah.
wafting over.
It's a lot of fun. I do love a Sailaway party.
Shipmate Tina Stockman says, just tuned in, and we were in that cabin. It was really nice. I think you must be talking about those obstructive view ones at the front. So there you go.
Yeah, they're brilliant. But again, the ones above Alfredo's, we've got friends, the Cruise Boys. They have booked one of those for September, and they said theirs is obstructed, but it's really not obstructed. You can just see it in the middle of the ship there. It's coming round now. Right above the Alfredo's, or I want to say La Soulomé, but it's not. It's catched by Rudy now, isn't it? above those. I suppose they're probably classed as obstructed because people could go out onto the bit of promenade deck bit outside and look up at you, so it could be classed as possibly overlooked.
Yes, you find the same with some of the ones above lifeboats, don't you? They're classed as obstructed because you've got a lifeboat maybe obstructing part of your lower part of your balcony.
Yeah, whereas if you actually get a balcony between the davits, like actually midway of the lifeboat, it's the lifeboat itself is about the height of the railing. So it's not really, it is obstructed, but it's not really obstructed. If you're not too fussy, you can still get a good view, can't you?
I guess if they don't make these things clear, people will complain that it's like, they've got to be overly cautious, haven't they?
But if you're after a bargain, they're the rooms to go for.
Do you like a bargain?
Yes.
Who doesn't?
All right, what else going on here? More questions. A question from shipmate Stephen D. Roberts. Says, question for the cruise monkeys. Have you ever been on a river cruise, and are you planning to do another river cruise in the future if you have been on one?
We have been on a river cruise, and it pleasantly surprised us, actually. We were, I'll make it quite clear, we were invited on board. It was a free cruise, which we call it so we went on one of those. Wouldn't have probably, we'd looked into it before, but it sort of gave us the nudge. We went on it and we were blown away. We found it very relaxed. You get right into the ports. You really immerse yourself into the culture, don't you? Every city, you're sort of brought right into the heart of it all, and the action is good.
It was on, we went from Amsterdam down to Basel on the Avalon Panorama.
Yeah.
About 110 of us on that one. It wasn't quite full, was it?
No.
But it was just so relaxing. It was amazing. And because we enjoyed it so much, yes, we are looking to do another one.
Looking to do another one. Definitely.
We are looking for next year now to try and get a river cruise in, just because they're just so relaxing. Like we said about being big ships out, the river cruise is perfect.
And it was just it gave you a whole new perspective on it all, because the amount of bridges you have to sail under, and especially leaving places like Amsterdam, you've probably, if you've been there before, you've got a river through the middle, or a canal, I should say, and then you've got trains on one side, cars on the other side, because they've mastered it, haven't they, over there? Their trains all run on like to the minute, second even. But it's amazing when you're in the room, when you're looking out at the scenery. It's just fantastic. And the bridges, the actual top of the ship, the bridge actually has like a, what do you call it? It goes up and down. It's
on hydraulics.
Hydraulics, that's the word.
Yes.
So sometimes they'll fold all the my words escape. The canopies, they all fold down, and the bridge will lower, and then it goes under a bridge, and they'll actually say to you, look, you're not allowed on the top deck, or things like that. And you can actually see the bridge goes literally within feet. It must be over the top of the railings, but you just don't get things like that.
Going through the locks, whatever, is quite fun, isn't it?
Locks are good. Yeah. And the other thing I found really interesting with the river cruise is you have a band will be brought on. Say you're in a city like Cologne. I think we had a local band playing in the evening, and the ship had departed. We sailed downstream, and then about 2 or 3 hours later, it wasn't even a particular port, it was just the side of the river. The ship stopped, and there was this little car, I don't know what it was, some sort of old Citroen or something, and you just see the band jump off the boat, or the ship I should say, off, and they just load their car up and drive off, and then the ship just carries on going. You never get that on an ocean cruise because it's just logistically impossible. But things like that I found mind-blowing.
Yeah,
interesting. I've never been on one, but I had a friend go on one, and it sounded pretty interesting. It was very similar to what you said. She liked the fact it was most of the ports are actually in the city, aren't they? So you stop and you're there instantly. It's easy. But she complained that the fact that she went with her old elderly mother, and when they docked in the cities, sometimes they were 2 or 3 ships away from the actual shore, so you had to clamber across 2 or 3 ships to actually get to shore, and her elderly mother wasn't finding that particularly friendly.
I could imagine. And another thing I found really strange as well with the river cruise, we went where was it, Heidelberg, wasn't it? We went to Heidelberg Castle. We stopped.
That was Mainz.
We stopped at Mainz. The ship stopped there. We got off the ship, got our excursion, went off to Heidelberg Castle. And when we actually came back to the ship, it was in a different port. In the time we were on our excursion, the ship had actually sailed down river and met us at another place to make the excursion transfer time shorter, which I thought was quite clever, really.
That is clever. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, something you can't do in a conventional cruise.
No, definitely. Although I'm saying that, my brother was saying he's due to go on Sky Princess now in August sometime, and he was saying now Sky is doing what do you call it? Technical
They
stop.
call it a technical stop in one of the fjords, aren't
Yeah,
they?
so I believe in the morning she sails into Garanga, but she stops at Helsilt briefly and then carries on sailing through down the Garanga Fjord into Garanga itself. So some people will be getting off in Helsilt for an excursion, I'm assuming. And will they meet the ship up in Garanga, or will
Probably.
they?
No,
pop
I
back?
think it comes finishes
So
off in Granga.
it's kind of like what they were doing with the river cruise. I don't know. It's the first time I've ever heard of it happening on a cruise ship. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very, very different. I was quite surprised.
That's quite interesting. Shipmate Danger Mouse asks, question for the Cruise Monkey, says, where are you going? Are you going to wave your yellow hands next week on the Queen Anne?
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
of course we will. Of course we will. Yes, definitely. You'll see us.
We once had a panic that we'd packed the yellow hand in our main luggage and it hadn't arrived.
Yeah.
So we have learned now to always have our yellow hand with us in the backpack
Yeah.
when we're on the cruise.
Always the yellow hand, always a pair of swim shorts for embarkation, because you never know if you want to go in a hot tub. You never
Yeah.
know. So you don't want to pack that away. You need it easy access.
I have a feeling easy access to yellow hands is probably not going to affect many people for
No.
good cruise advice. But packing your swim shorts in your hand luggage is good advice, though, because that's one of the best times to get into the hot tub, isn't it, as you board, because people don't tend to do it. So they tend to be very quiet.
Especially if you've got a nice hot tub that you can get into during Sailaway. So as you're sailing away from Southampton, if you've got a nice day in the hot tub.
To be fair,
lovely.
yellow hand, it does double up as protection for our bottles of champagne or wine we bring on board with us now, don't
Yeah.
they? Or in the olden days before they changed the rules, it used to be a litre of gin, didn't it? But that's changed now. It's all just wine, isn't it?
Just wine and
Just
Pinot
wine
now.
now.
Yes, I heard
Used
they've
to
changed
double up as
that.
protection, stop the bottles clanking with the hand in the middle.
It's very sensible. What do you think about P&O changing their rules?
I can see it's unfortunate, because I think it's one of those sort of scenarios where a few people may have ruined it for everybody, possibly. I think it's a bit, yeah. I'm not happy. Obviously, we like the gin, because not that we guzzle it all well. Not that we do guzzle it all like that. It's nice to have a gin and tonic, say, when you're getting ready in the evening, you snip back to the cabin. One of you could be in the shower, the other one's ready, waiting or dressed or whatever. It's nice to have that drink while you're waiting to go back out, isn't it? Because I don't want to leave and go to a bar, and then you have to traipse around the ship looking for me, figuring out where I've gone and things like that. I mean, I suppose I could say where I'm going, but it's just convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, the fact that we can still take wine isn't really affected us. And things, you've got ships like MSC that won't even allow you to take soft drinks on. So Pinot is still quite relaxed when you compare them to others, but it is a big change for a lot of people.
Well, actually, on the subject, I've got a question here from shipmate Tracy Marson, who is a first-time cruiser, and she's going on Arvia in September, so it's sort of related to the Mediterranean. Really looking forward to it.
Nice.
Doesn't know what to expect. Any tips for someone going to the Mediterranean on Arvia?
It's quite a difficult one without knowing.
And I'd say watch our
exactly.
videos.
Yeah.
Little plug there.
No, that's a really good point. Actually, yeah, watch the Cruise Monkey videos.
Of the ship.
Yeah.
It's
hard to say, really, because everybody's different. They've all got sort of different what they do on board, different activities that appeal to them. We always go for like anytime dining. That's one thing I always suggest, because we just like to rock up at the main dining room whenever we're ready and then have our dinner then. We don't go for first or second seating as such, do we?
on Arvia, you won't have it
No,
anyway.
no,
It'll
not
only
on
be
Arvia,
time.
true.
Yeah, it's freedom dining, isn't it?
Yeah, for first timers, I think you can get a bit bogged down with trying to plan everything and trying to take all the advice on board. A lot of it is just go and enjoy it if you can. Just don't get bogged down by having to plan everything. Just go with an open mind.
I usually book
embrace it.
things like I usually put a lot more things like specialty dining and things on sea days myself, because it gives the day more of a theme, doesn't it? It gives you a purpose for the day, because obviously sea days can be really relaxed, but if you've got a lot of things lined up, it makes it more exciting. So I always put my specialty, because if you're for us, when we go to places like the fjords, if you've got an epic sail out, I always recommend not booking anything for dining that evening, because you want to be out and about on deck just taking the scenery in, whereas if you're at sea, it's the same thing going by, so you don't mind having food in a restaurant for a couple of hours, do you?
Yeah,
Be the first.
That's a very good point. Yep.
Yeah. Being a first cruise, there'd be so much to do. It's slightly overwhelming, but just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, just take it as it comes, and I wouldn't read too much into what people say on Facebook and TripAdvisors and things like that, because everyone has got their own opinion of everything. You need to make your mind up for yourself, really, don't you? We've been on a cruise before now with other people, and they've got off and they've put slatey reviews on places, and we've looked and gone, well, we were on the same ship at the same time. We've had a polar opposite experience, so it depends who you are, what you're doing, and different circumstances, doesn't it?
Yeah, I quite agree. Paul from Love Cruises, my channel sponsor, he tells me all these things I should be doing, and I just tend to ignore him and get on and and make lots of mistakes. But that's part of the fun, I think.
Exactly, and that, like you said, it is part of the fun, just going on and just doing your own thing and enjoying it.
I completely neglected to book up in the specialty restaurants on Iona, and none of them were available to book when I was actually on board, which I can't say I was too bothered with. But I would have liked to have tried one of them, particularly the Indian.
I would definitely say book your specialty if you can, to avoid disappointment. Some of them are quite flexible, though. You can get into them if you just turn up. And another thing I always recommend is on embarkation day, the first place I always go to is the spa. It always books up really quickly. So if you want things like the retreat, that's the area, the open deck area at the top. I always book, that books up really fast. Sometimes you can get a pass. Sometimes you can get it just, for the day, or you can go for a whole week. I usually find if you go up to the spa desk as soon as you board, you're more likely to get, say, an afternoon. Whereas if you leave it later on, you might be forced into getting a whole week or nothing at all. It's the same with places like the thermal area, the hydro pools, things like that, the saunas and steam rooms. They do book up really quickly. So go into the spa if you want those sort of things. On embarkation day it's high priority for us. It's literally the first place we go, isn't it?
Yeah. Or one thing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
One thing I've gone to dislike about cruising is having to book everything.
Yeah.
It definitely seems to be since COVID and with bigger ships that you need to kind of plan and book, and it does kind of spoil the holiday slightly, having to plan your holiday before you're even on the ship to get specialities. But
it is what it is. We still enjoy it. We still make the most of it.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, go with the flow.
Interesting question here from Shipmate News Girl 100 says, have you or a friend of yours ever used the medical services on board a ship? And if so, how have you found them?
Touchwood, no. Although, when I was on Anthem of the Seas, I don't know what happened to me. I took some seasickness tablets, I think, and I was sat on a stool at a bar, and I sort of turned myself around on the stool. I don't know what I'd done. I got cramp in my leg, and somehow, I don't know what happened. I just went grey. I just went grey, and I started walking away from the bar. I said, I don't feel great. I was going to go. I don't know where I was going to go. I got off, and I collapsed on the floor. The next minute, I remember looking up at the floor, and there was somebody over, like there was staff over me panicking. So I hadn't, touchwood, actually been to the medical centre, but that was probably the scariest thing that ever happened to me. I don't even know what happened, really. I think I don't know if I just panicked or what, but yeah, I just went faint. But no, luckily I have not been to the medical centre.
No, they can be quite expensive from what we've seen and heard. The only thing we have done, I suppose, we've forgotten seasickness tablets and got a bit seasick, haven't we?
Yeah.
But we've always been quite fortunate. Reception on most ships will provide seasickness tablets. So you
can buy them, and they are quite good. Like I always usually go for like Avamine and things like that. But no, touchwood, I've not had to use a medical centre. I don't intend on using one, but nobody ever does, do they? But that's probably the closest I've got was that.
No, good. Well, I have a good friend who's a ship's doctor on a cruise ship. Used to be a ship's doctor on a cruise ship, and she has some very interesting stories. But from what she tells me, it's mainly all very minor things. If it's a bit rough at sea, you might get a few sort of sprained ankles where people have, where the ship has lurched and they weren't quite in the right place and they've misstepped. That's from what I understand. That seems to be a very popular injury.
Yeah. Probably more likely to fall over dancing or something stupid, me.
It's super important to have the insurance in place, isn't it?
Yeah. We've witnessed a few of the medevacs by helicopter. I do believe when we were on Iona last year, we were having dinner and a helicopter came over and we thought, what's going on? And it turned out it was a kiddie, I think, who'd broke their finger, but because obviously it was a child, they made him priority and actually airlifted them to the nearest hospital.
Gosh.
for a broken finger, which, yeah, it did surprise me. But I think if it had been an adult, maybe they'd have gone, oh, no, it's just a broken finger. But because it was a child, they lifted them. It's
Maybe
very
they were.
stressful.
Yeah, maybe they weren't very happy.
No.
What other questions do we have here? Somebody, I didn't see who it was, but someone was asking a question if there was a midnight buffet on the Princess ships like there is on the P&O ships.
No, so you don't have the buffet, but you do have the
Medallion, don't
no,
you?
yeah, you've got the medallion. So you've got a little on Princess, instead of a cruise card, you get these kind of little medallions. You can order food wherever you are on the ship using them. But they've also got the cafe,
It's the international
cafe, which is open 24/7, serving sandwiches, coffees, and all that kind of thing.
There we go. Yeah.
But the cheese and onion, the cheese croissants are lethal, because if you've got skinny fit clothes and you board the cruise, you won't be fitting into them by the time you go off, because with all that pastry and cheese at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning after you've had a shed load of booze, it's bloats you quite quickly.
and the egg and sausage muffins, wasn't it?
They were nice as well.
All right, boys, calm down. You're making me hungry.
The thing is, it's just that's the thing with cruising. The food is just so convenient, isn't it?
Yes.
You just grab whatever you want when you want. It's just there. Yeah. They make for a good late night snack, the International Cafe in the Piazza, place to head.
We quite often do room service, so we'll miss the midnight buffet.
Yeah.
And we'll be ordering room service. I think on Aurora, about 4 o'clock in the morning, we were ordering sandwiches to the room.
I've got to be honest, we may have ordered room service, and by the time the room service came at one point, we'd fell asleep, and the man was he phoned in the room?
Yeah, he's phoned in the room.
Said, and the phone rang, and he said, "Can you please let the guy in? He's got food outside." And we were like, "Oh my God, we're so sorry." We drifted off because we'd had a few to drink. We'd been out. That was that the morning we went back at 5:30?
No, that was on my own, the one you were thinking of. But I stayed awake on the Aurora once. You fell asleep. I stayed awake on that one.
Yeah, terrible.
All the secrets are coming out now.
The Aurora cruise was very fun. That was only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Fraser was on that one as well. I noticed he was on here last week.
Yes, he was.
Really good cruise, that one. There's quite a lot of us on there from the YouTube community, wasn't
Yeah,
there?
there was a whole group of you, wasn't there? Sort of just happened by accident.
Yeah, it started off, Innocents Abroad, Bob and Holly were coming over from San Diego. They had a cruise booked on Aurora for 16 nights to Scandinavia direction.
Scandinavia.
And I said to him, because we'd been talking for quite a while, and I said to him, basically what happened was, when we booked our honeymoon, me and Gavin went away for a week to the fjords, and then our friends joined us for a 2-night party cruise afterwards, which was a perfect way to finish it off. So he said that was a good idea, and I said to him, well, as it happens, there's a mini cruise just before your cruise if you want to meet up. So he bit my hand off, we arranged to do that, and then slowly but surely everybody managed to end up on the same cruise. It wasn't planned as such, it just happened.
It was quite nice, because some of the people we'd never met face to face, we've been talking for years, so it was quite nice.
It's one of those things, you didn't plan it, so it always turns out better than you can imagine. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I don't think I've met too many. Actually, I don't think I've met anyone from YouTube yet, actually.
So you've had, was it Emma's been on here? And
Emma Cruises, yeah. And Fraser. I think there was someone else, but I can't. Maybe not. Maybe I just imagined it. I was having a whole problem with internet connection for a little while, so I've sorted it out now. So I can get Guesst back on. It just bogs the system down when I'm trying to Skype and run the cameras and do everything. So
yeah, I can imagine.
Just hoping. So it is the Isle of Wight yacht race today as well.
Yeah.
Typically, it's really windy when the yacht race is on. And you say you had someone who was going around the yachts.
A friend of ours, son. He was a part of it. I seen on her Facebook this morning. I think currently he's finished. He's between contracts. He's left Queen Victoria. He was the 3rd officer. So he's home, but I think he's doing something in uni. I believe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. It's between his contracts. He's doing something else or part of it. But yeah, he was doing it today. But there was something I can't remember what it was. There was some yacht or ship they were meant to be on was cancelled because of the weather. I don't know if he's managed to do anything else. I've not been on Facebook much lately. Not this afternoon anyway. So I'm not sure how he got on. But it does look very windy there.
I was going to say, it does look quite windy, that, doesn't it?
It is. It's very windy today. It's been very, very windy.
It
Windy
looks like
tomorrow as well.
we had yesterday, to be honest. It's quite calm here now, though, at the moment, touch wood. I think it's meant to pick up, though, later. Because we live right on the coast as well, so we do get the brunt of it as well.
Of course, yes, of course. Question from shipmate Anthony Corduroy. Sorry, not Anthony Corduroy. He's just saying it's £50 to shake the ship doctor's hand. Possibly. Question from shipmate Ian Fry says, which is the best port you've departed from at the start of your cruise?
Southampton, I'd say.
Yeah.
I like Southampton. I love the convenience of it. I love the sailing out. It just, I just like Southampton.
That's it. Miami's quite nice.
Miami's nice. It is nice. But then you've got the flights and all before.
Yeah.
But then you do have the weather mostly. It's warm, it's hot.
And Southampton's is quite a nice sail away as well.
What do you normally come into port the day before?
Yes, if we can.
Yeah, so it's for us. It's about 4 or 5 hours drive.
Yeah.
So we tend to come down the night before, stay in one of the hotels, and just get on the next day. Then it's just nice and easy. We have driven down a few times on the day.
More so at the beginning when we started to cruise, but we've learned, or we've seen or heard horror stories where people have been held up and things, and we know how quickly things can change, so we don't chance it anymore. We don't chance it. We just always go down the night. But you always feel more refreshed in the morning as well. This makes the day.
Yeah, I think rushing around.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? You never know. I hear a lot of people, like you say, who have been struggling to get to port in time, delayed, and only just got on the cruise. Ahoy there, shipmate LB. Many thanks for subscribing. And if you're enjoying the Cruise Monkeys and want to see more of their content, go over and subscribe to their channel as well.
Yes, we've got plenty of stuff on there. Plenty of stuff. Lots of bits and bobs. We've done quite a few cruise lines now.
We've got quite a bit coming as well, haven't we, now this year?
Yeah, sounds like you're going to be really busy.
Yeah, well, we still haven't done our Zero vlogs yet.
Zero vlogs. I've started editing them. We did a lot of information-based videos this time around, but I will be putting vlogs out for Azura. I think what I'll do now, I'll probably wait for the ship to actually make its way back over to the Canaries. She's in the Med at the moment, so it'll be more relevant for people to see it then. So we've got, obviously we've got Queen Anne, we've got Britannia, we've also got Virgin. We're going on Resilient Lady from Portsmouth in August. That'll be.
Oh, are you? When they've started sailing again, haven't they, from Portsmouth? I don't know when it starts. So you must be one of the early ones.
Yeah, so she comes from Barcelona up to Portsmouth mid to late August. I think it's the 23rd of August we get on board. So we're the first one out then.
Ah, okay, right. Yeah, I thought it was somewhere in August. Ah, excellent. Yeah, it's interesting that they're sailing again from Portsmouth. I
think it's something to do with Richard Branston. He's got some
he's got some connection there, hasn't he? I think.
Yeah, so he likes his ships to go from Portsmouth. He makes a point of it. And I do believe they're making a new cruise terminal there as well. They were building a new cruise terminal.
Yeah, there's been some problems, isn't there? Because they want some government money, but they're not supposed to. They're supposed to. It was supposed to be for something else, and I don't know. It's all gets a bit complicated. It's a bit political when you read the local paper.
Yeah.
Or gaps in the stories. Yeah, what did you think of the Virgin ship? You've been on the Virgin ship before, haven't you?
Again, we were very lucky with that, and we were invited on board. We've only had two. We've been gifted, I suppose.
Yeah, and that was the Avalon.
It was the Avalon.
But yeah, we didn't know what to expect, to be honest. But it really surprised us. It was a really, really good ship, to be fair, wasn't it?
In the beginning, when Virgin first came into service, I thought, oh no, it's a bit too different for me. I like cruising to be cruising, but as time has gone on, there are things I like. The informality and the fun aspect of cruising has become a big part of the holiday for me. So now Virgin really appeals, and I think as well they were known to be quite raunchy at the beginning. They were really going out of their way to be different, and it was quite spicy, wasn't it? But now it's toned down a smidge.
I think a lot of people think of Virgin slightly as an 18 to 30s kind of cruise line, but it really isn't. You know, we were probably on the younger side.
Yeah.
We met people, people who retired, had a whale of time on the ship, done Virgin many times, and they were getting off our cruise, flying over to Athens to join another Virgin ship to do like 2 7-night cruises back to back in a way.
Gosh.
So it's definitely For the young at heart, I think is how we say it.
Or if you've got a younger mindset as well, definitely it really appealed to us. The entertainment and things were really something unique. Like, they don't have a main theatre as such. You go into this giant room. 1 minute it can be like a theatre, like you imagine the seats staged going down to like the stage at the front. Next minute you can walk in, it could be a massive open space nightclub.
Yeah.
Or the stage could be in the middle of the room, and they basically modify it to suit the needs of the show.
Right, that's really interesting.
It's very multi-purpose, and I found that mind-blowing and refreshing when we went on. I couldn't get my head around it. I was like, we'd go like as if you were heading to the theatre. Can you imagine walking in and finding it's not a theatre, it's a nightclub, and being like, well, I'm sure this was a theatre yesterday. It really plays with your head a little bit, but it's fun. It's good.
I think a few cruise lines are doing that. I think Sun Princess has got the same kind of design in their theatre now, where it can be changed so much that it's really adaptable, I suppose, to whatever they want to put on.
Did you were you just standard class, or were you? Is it called the Rockstars or Super Rockstars?
So
or something?
we were in a balcony cabin, but because it was a press trip, we were given access to the Rockstar.
Rich's rooftop.
Rich's rooftop, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Which came with perks, such as we had the Rockstar, the bracelet thing, which meant if the staff saw you, they sort of thought, oh, there's a Rockstar.
Yeah.
And we also got the champagne happy hour, which was great.
The Moët happy hour is very good.
Yeah.
Free flowing Moët for an hour.
Oh, really?
They weren't shy.
No, they're not shy.
Oh, excellent.
But no, the food and all was exceptional on board. I really enjoyed it. I really for me, the wake was more traditional style dining, but it was all very nice, wasn't it? Especially, what was the ones we used to go for at the back? The dock. Was it the dock at the back of the ship?
Yeah, the dock house.
They do these skewers and things, don't they? Little nibbles, and it's absolutely delicious, I think. Yeah, and again, all the food on Virgin is included. There's no fee for speciality. But you just sort of go around different restaurants all the time every night. You can mix and match. I think you can do up to 2 restaurants per cruise. So if there is one you really love, you can do it twice. But yeah, it's really good. Really impressive.
I think if you're a rock star, you can go as many times as you like, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. It is a slightly different experience.
Yeah, very refreshing.
And when you go to land on the land excursions, they're also included in the package, aren't they, in the price? Or there's transportation.
I'm trying to think now, because we did it. We did a lot of stuff by ourselves as well. We like to do a lot of things on our own, so we can't really say we went on an excursion with them. Did we, Gav? No, we didn't go on an excursion as such with Virgin. We did a lot of it by ourselves, but they did put on buses and things. They were complimentary, weren't they? Yeah.
And in Portsmouth, others charged, they were complimentary.
Yeah, they were complimentary transfers and things. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I think that's what they were trying to include. Yeah, it's very interesting. Someone, I've just looking back through the questions here. I think I've missed it now. The questions keep disappearing off the screen. Someone's asked if you've ever been to Guernsey on a cruise ship.
We have.
They've tried to call in 3 times and it's been postponed due to bad weather, and they wonder if it actually exists.
It does exist. We're very, touch wood, very, very fortunate. We have been there every time we've had a cruise. We've never missed Guernsey.
Never missed. 3 times we've been there. We've had 100% success rate.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But we've been told that's very rare. So, we feel super privileged and very lucky. In fact, I'd go as far as saying I do quite like Guernsey because you have the tender right over. I love a tender port. It's a lot of fun.
And sometimes they have those... is it Trident?
Yeah, it's like a proper
sightseeing boats.
Like a proper transfer boat. It takes a lot more than a little tender boat. It takes probably 3 or 4 times the amount, doesn't it? At least it's more like a sightseeing boat. But that was really good. We've been very lucky with Guernsey. But
good. Glad you got one. So it does exist then. That answers whoever that shipmate was. Shipmate Nicola Howard asks, which cruise line is best, Celebrity or Princess?
That's very close because they're very similar. I'd say Celebrity is slightly more elevated over Princess regards like service as such. Would you like the food and things?
Yeah, I'd say Celebrity was, the main dining room Celebrity was probably better, more choice.
Then you're paying for it. Celebrity's a lot more expensive than Princess too, so it's one of those, you get what you pay for kind of thing. I like both. I find them they're very similar in a lot of respects.
I think I'd feel more at home on a Princess ship.
Yeah.
So probably pick a Princess and then have a few extra quid in my pocket as well for doing it.
There we go. It seems like a sound answer there.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with Celebrity Mine, but it's just, it's a bit more expensive.
Just looking back through the questions again. A lot of questions here. Shipmate Rob B is asking, have I booked my Cunard cruise yet? Tom and Dom have been on the QM2. What's your thoughts? Oh, you've been on the QM2, haven't you?
We have been on the Queen Mary 2. We went on Queen Mary 2 was our second ever cruise back in 2014.
Second ever cruise, wow.
We went back on here again then in 2018. We had a 3-night. We've done 2 3-night cruises to Bruges on here basically, but the second time we were supposed to have had a day at sea, and I was quite disappointed because do you know what happened? We had a load of agents and things on board, and they decided to turn up to Bruges for an overnight stay.
Yeah, we had lovely overnight. That lovely port of Zeebrugge.
But we really like Queen Mary 2. She's one of our favourite ships. And she really is something. She's something completely. Well, she's an ocean liner. She's completely different to any cruise ship going.
Whenever we think of, or if anybody ever asks, what's your favourite cruise ship, Queen Mary 2 is the favourite, but she's not classed as a cruise ship.
She's like a league of her own.
We class her as she's on the side. She's at the top. Nothing will compare to her. And then we look at other cruise ships from there, don't we? Definitely,
yeah. Well, no, we really do like Queen Mary 2. She's absolutely magnificent in the scale of the ship, and you just get that sense, all the nostalgia and all of the history connection with the transatlantic crossings. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's more like old-fashioned cruising, isn't it? Sailing, I should say. People would get very, very annoyed in the comments if I start referring to Queen Mary 2 as a cruise ship.
She always seems to feel really solid and really stable on the water as well.
Oh, interesting.
Very, very stable. Like, we've been on some ships, like I find, personally, ships like Ventura Azura, they can be very bouncy. Very bouncy. Right. Whereas Queen Mary 2 is very, very, she just cuts through the water like a knife. I mean, I'm sure she does feel motion in the storms, but I think if you're on the other ships, you'd be bouncing around like a cork.
It's good. Make a good point. Of course, location on the ship makes a big difference to how you feel the water.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the worst one we've had was it Queen Elizabeth or Queen Elizabeth. We were as far forward as you could get, as high up as you could get, basically.
We went behind the bridge.
Yes, and it was a very bumpy sea one day.
But then, having known you say that, I do recall we went on Regal Princess. We had a room right at the aft of the ship. It was a suite. It was the corner. You have the corner suite, and we were the first balcony room after that. I think it was a deluxe balcony actually. But we had that room, but because it was so far aft, we felt the motion of the ocean, and we also had a lot of vibration from the engine as well. And because we were so high up, you really felt sway and it was quite a lot of movement on that room. But it is what it is.
A lot of people, when they worry about seasickness, our recommendation is go
low down
in the middle.
Yeah, I think being high up, right at the front, possibly the worst place you could be.
Or the back,
Or the back, yeah.
Also, if anyone hasn't been on a cruise before, we always recommend not booking the top deck underneath the Lido, because you get the sunbeds and things scraping and scratching as they put them out in the morning. You get a lot of, like, Sailaway parties now. If you want peace and quiet in your room, you're not going to get it because you'll have people dancing around the deck and walking about. You're better off a bit lower down.
Again, it's looking at the deck plans, isn't it? Yes. Making sure there's nothing above or below you that will make a noise.
Biggest tip, look what's above and below you. So if you're too low down as well, you could also have like an entertainment venue. Now, for us, we're usually the people there till 5 o'clock in the morning, so it's not a problem. But if you went to bed at 11 and there was a nightclub underneath you, you might not be very happy with that.
Absolutely. One of our excellent blue spanners, where's he gone? I've missed that. Mark G says there's 5,445 passengers on board, 1,665 crew. A question I often get especially from new time cruisers, or may have only been on one ship before or never been on a ship before, is they're very worried that on the larger ships they'll just be jam-packed full of people everywhere, queues, and wouldn't find a space. So what do you think about that? How's your experience been of the really large ships compared to smaller ships?
It definitely does have more queuing and things like that on board, but they also work it out to try and give enough space. Well, when we went on Avia, we were out in the Caribbean, and one of the things that everybody said, there's not enough sunbeds, but 5,000 passengers on a ship, you're not going to have enough room to put 5,000 sunbeds, are you?
All on that one deck at the top.
So you've got to take that into account when you're booking the larger ships. Yes, it might be more difficult to get sunbeds, there might be more queuing. And it is kind of what we said earlier. We're a bit big shipped out because there is something nice about a smaller ship. Aurora, for example, we were on a couple of weeks back. It felt like there was so much space on that ship.
Aurora's passengers to space ratio is absolutely it's astounding. Really, everyone kept saying, is the ship full? Is the ship full? And we were like, yeah. Everyone was saying it was pretty full because it was only such a short cruise and it was quite cheap and cheerful. People were amazed how much deck space there was. But see, another thing we also tend to do, or we're contemplating doing, is if we're booking a cruise again, sometimes we might actually book an inside room to get the cost of the cruise cheaper, and then use the difference to book something like the Sanctuary or the Retreat, which is the private deck area at the top. You can see it on there now, just coming into the shot above the bridge, above the crow's nest as well. It's an open deck area. You get hot tubs, you get like afternoon tea and things, and you think for the difference in price, you can get that, and you actually are guaranteed that deck space, because for those areas they assign you a bed basically for the week or the day, whatever you're doing.
You can see the
you can see it there now.
Yes, that's make a really good point there, actually.
Yeah, that's a chance to go in a hot tub. Thing is, as well, especially for somewhere like the fjords, I was saying to my brother the other week he was saying, he was on about things, and I said, maybe book the Sanctuary, because when you're sailing out of your port, if you book the balcony on, say, port or starboard side, you can only see the scenery from that side of the ship, whereas if you book something like the Sanctuary or the Retreat, you've got more like a 180-degree forward-facing view, haven't you? You can see the whole thing. So it could work. If anyone's trying to save the pennies, something to think about.
Yeah, that's actually, you make a very good point there. I think that's something you don't really know about until you've been on the ship before. It doesn't necessarily make much sense. But yes, it's a very good point. I certainly noticed on the larger ships, the first couple of days, there's a central coffee station. And the first couple of days, there was massive queues on that, and then until people realised you could get coffee in loads of different locations. And then by about the third day, the queues were tiny. And But I didn't really notice too many people trying to get a drink at sort of between 6 and 7 when everyone was getting a pre-dinner drink is a bit busy.
Yeah. I mean, again, like you're saying there, between 6 and 7, when everybody's trying to get a drink, what we tend to do is plan or work around it. So we won't go to the buffet on the busy boarding day, because we know the buffet and the boarding day is going to be crazy, so you kind of avoid those spaces. And maybe it's something, the more you cruise, you pick up, you kind of work out where's going to be busy on that ship, so you avoid that during those times.
And again, another thing as well, I suppose, like we said, we dine later now, and maybe that's just become our habit, because what we've realised is people go down to get ready about 6 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whereas if you just stay up at the pool will get nice and quiet. Well, you all go down to get changed. You'll be able to get your drinks quicker because you're at the bars and all be quieter.
Enjoy the hot tubs.
And then you can say, right, well, I'm going to go down now and get ready. And when you're going down, everyone else is then coming up from dinner to the pools or whatever they're doing, which then means other spaces are quieter around the ship. Maybe that's subconsciously what's happened with us. Maybe that's why we dine so late. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. That's the sort of tactic I try and do. You try and follow the lull. As like you say, the masses will just naturally think, right, it's the end of the day, we've come back on board, let's get changed, let's go down and have a drink before dinner, and let's go down to the restaurant and the buffet. And like you say, it does clog up a little bit, which can't be, you can't really expect any other way, can you? That many people on board a ship. But yes, if you try and work around that, it does help a lot.
Definitely.
Question for the Cruise Monkeys from Mafia587. It says, do the foam hands go on every cruise with you?
Yes,
they do. We have actually forgot it once. Or we did, like you said, you put it in the hold luggage. We couldn't take it out in time. We did kick it.
But no, we have now. Every time we go on the cruise, Luke's there as we go in the terminal. Have you got the foam hand?
Yeah. Have we got a hand? Yeah.
It's kind of, what was it? Wallet, passport, foam hand.
I think the current hand is actually hand V2, because V1 is covered in red wine, and I could not. in my state at the time, I thought, oh, this would be a smart idea. I'll just dunk the hand in some water and wash the wine off. The hand just absorbed all the water and it becomes so heavy. I think it took weeks to dry it out and it's lost shape. So
Oh, dear.
it will V2 hand.
I like the idea of using your hands as packaging up your spirits that you bring on board.
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
And the thing is, it doesn't weigh anything, so it's handy.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we tend, like on P&O, you can take the bottle of wine per person, so we'll carry that on in hand luggage. So we'll wrap the hand around that wine just to stop them clinking.
Shipmate Jane Morris has already booked the retreat on Arvia for her next trip. So there you go. Someone's already booked it ahead, taken your advice or know what to do. So that's a good top tip there, I think, for the cruise monkeys.
And the good thing with Arvia's retreat is refreshments are included. So I think there's kind of some beers and wines included in the price, which you don't get on the other P&O retreats. It's only on Arvia, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think it's like little cans of Heineken and all that kind of stuff. But food-wise, the food's still available.
Yeah.
It's just the liquid refreshments of the alcohol variety, I should say.
Shipmate CS28 said he had friends that were on Queen Anne and they were talking about the scraping of the sun lounges.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just little things like that you don't think about.
Exactly. And the thing is, sometimes it's the passengers moving them around, but what you'll find is early morning when the crew are putting out the lounges, that's when it's really noisy.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't really care. They're up at 5 o'clock in the morning working.
Yeah. Exactly. They don't know what day or night is, to be honest. So you see this army of crew come out only during the night, and you think that they must be nocturnal at that point.
Yes.
I think it's the room stewards. They do it before they start their shift. And even the team there, isn't it?
Shipmate here, Andy Lewis says, is there any news on when Cruise Cam will return? Cruise Cam will return when the building is free of scaffolding, because at the moment all you can see is scaffolding. So I don't know how long that'll be. Many months, I would imagine. I can't imagine. Possibly not even this year. Although difficult to tell. It's a bit of a nuisance, but it's there we go. It is what it is.
Oh. Do we see any waivers or anything?
No, I can't see anything. It looks like the weather has picked up, though. It's not as awful as it has been.
No, it looks nice and it looks quite bright there now, really. We've got some friends on Virtuosa. They said they might make a waving appearance.
Yes.
So
Oh, yes.
them, yeah. You may know them actually if you've been watching. If you've ever seen The Cruise, the show, there was a series on a Virgin ship. I can't remember which Virgin ship it was.
2 years back, isn't it?
Was it Valiant or Scarlet?
Scarlet Lady, I think it was.
There's a couple on there, two ladies, and they're on Virtuosa today. So they said they were waved to us. So
I haven't seen that.
The story on that one was we were before going on a cruise. We always watch YouTube vlogs and stuff of the cruise we're going on. So we happened to watch the cruise, and when we went on our Valiant Lady cruise, we were at the bar.
No, be honest. I was in the conservatory folding clothes and I couldn't see the telly, I could just hear it. So I, got used to these two women talking throughout the show. And then when we went to Richard's rooftop on the first day of the Virgin cruise, I wasn't looking and I heard the voice and I was like, that's them voice. I turned around and there it was. But one of them had a different haircut than they had on the programme. And I just, me being me, I went up and just started talking to him. And we've got on like a house on fire ever since. They're
lovely, very good friends.
Really good friends with them. And today they're on Virtuosa, so hopefully they'll make an appearance.
Ah, excellent. Trying to get my camera to stop moving. It won't stop moving.
If I'd have known, I'd have lent them my yellow hand. Although I think my V1 yellow hand has been lent to a friend. I haven't actually had it back yet.
Yeah.
I think I lent it to Ben when he was leaving on Arcadia.
So it must still be quite windy out there because we have tug assistance here with Iona, which is unusual. I think if you've got a port side balcony cabin, you're probably all right, because I think the wind is coming from, yes, it's coming from the west. So, yeah, you'll be sheltered on the port side.
Be quite breezy aft, I think. If you've got
Yeah, I think so.
wake facing balconies. At least I won't have to worry about the water splashing over the balconies today, because maybe it'll blow it back into the pool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was quite a few complaints, wasn't there, when the ships first came out?
Yeah, although we have a friend who booked one of those cabins. I think it was for a transatlantic on Avia, and she said she didn't get much splashing at all. Although I don't think she was directly.
No, I think a lot of it is
that one room
is when the kiddies start splashing.
Yeah, they've got no self-control, have they?
That's one of my favourite spots on Avia. I do love the fact on Avia they have that swim-up bar. I absolutely love that. It's really, really nice.
Shipmates Kate and Dave are on Avia next Sunday, the same day as the Cruise Monkeys are on Queen Anne.
Wow.
And they've got a green foam hand to wave.
Oh, we'll have to watch that one.
Yeah,
we'll have to watch out.
You know, the hands come in various colours.
Yeah. We did have a blue, like a thumbs up one. I don't know where that one's gone.
Yes, I think that's when we were struggling to get hold of the waving ones, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, the yellow hand will make an appearance with it next week, I'm sure.
It'll be a wave off. Shipmate Raymond Morris says, is your place full of souvenirs from your cruises you've got on your travels?
We collect, every time we go on a cruise, we always collect the ship's models from, the ones from the shop.
Yeah.
And we had a load of shelves on the wall. They've run out of space. The TV unit is now being taken over. But yeah, we always like to collect those, don't we?
Yeah, but they're our main. We did start on the teddies at one point when we first started cruising, and the magnets, but it all became a bit.
Yeah,
I
used to like to collect the Cunard beers for my nans. They seem to love them because Cunard do these nice beers with knitted jumpers with gold embroidered logos and things on them, and my nans loved them, so I used to get those. But the beers, yeah, they got a bit too much, and I think with Honey now, they'd all end up in pieces because she's sort of she's taken the liking to our cruise monkey, isn't she? So she just chew the teddies.
Well, it's always important to keep the grands happy.
Yeah. I think they love it as well because they're like, oh my god, it's off Queen Mary too. Because they used to, the nostalgia of it all, isn't it?
Excellent. Yeah, I know. I've heard quite a few people like to collect the ship models. They're quite good, aren't they?
It gets very expensive though.
Yes.
But it's worth it. I mean, if you go on a ship a couple of times, I suppose it saves you the second time around. You have to buy it, do you? But the thing these days is they all seem to have different styles of model. They've got the resin ones that have the livery painted on them, like conventional ones. Then you've got these metal ones, and you've got glass ones now that are sort of crystal cut, haven't you? They now come up with all these different things. I
just on the count, we've got 22 of them.
Have we?
Yeah.
But like we said, we've been on some of the ships a couple of times, so we've not bought it a second time round.
Excellent. Another question for Cruise Monkeys here. It's from shipmate Danger Mouse. He says, can you use your onboard credit card to pay for the drinks package on Cunard?
Your onboard credit?
Yeah, so your onboard credit, you can use your onboard credit to buy a drinks package, but you've got to wait until you're on board the ship to buy the drinks package, at which point the drinks package costs more money.
Yeah. If you buy it ahead of the cruise, you save about 10%.
Oh, yeah, easily. So I think on Cunard at the moment, I think it's $72 per person per day for the alcohol package, and I think it's about $90 if you buy it once you're on board. So if you've got that much cruise credit, you don't care, that's fine. But if you've only got a small amount of cruise credit, you're probably better off spending it on like a specialty dining or ship's model or an excursion or something like that.
Or the retreat or the spa pass or something like that.
Yeah, that's a most good point, isn't it? Yeah, if you've got lots of cruise credit, you're not too worried. Might be a good use of it.
Yeah. We've never had that much. I think the most we've had cruise credit, I think, was about $300 on a Princess ship, and we used it to buy the spa pass.
Yeah.
But normally we don't tend to get much more than the odd £50, $50, maybe 100 if we're lucky.
Well, we do have shares in Carnival, and they give you onboard credit. different cruise lines, different amounts, but it's usually general rule of thumb, roughly about £50 or £30, $50 for about a mini cruise, isn't it?
Yeah, you're talking probably about £60-70, and I think for a week. I think I can't remember what it is.
150 or 100? I can't remember now off the top of my head for a fortnight then, which helps. It does help.
But yeah, it's if you do cruise often, especially with the Carnival brands, getting the Carnival shares, you do get the benefits, and same with Royal Caribbean and stuff like that as well. But I know, being over here, a lot, Princess, P&O, Cunard, they're all Carnival brands, so you can get a bit of extra onboard credit if you've got shares.
The thing is, you get more off your onboard shares than you would interest in the bank, I think. The amount we cruise, anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Interesting. That's a good point. So, yes, basically check the numbers on that one. So, yes, it is possible.
I mean, we were quite lucky. We actually bought our shares during the pandemic when they went really, really low. So, yeah, we've probably made a little bit of an investment now. Things are perking up, aren't they? But, yeah, we did it mostly for the onboard credit, the shareholder perks.
Shipmate Michelle Waterson says they made the mistake of booking a suite on Azora on Riviera deck, directly under the pool. Scraping of the sunbeds and chairs early in the morning, late at night were a nightmare.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if we'd find that a nightmare because we're night owls, so we'd be woken up in the morning to the scraping.
We'd go to bed at 5 and probably be woken up at 5:30 and they start bringing the beds back out.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very good, would it?
Yeah, no, it's why whenever somebody asks us about booking a cruise tips and things, we always say if you're booking a cabin and the area or things like that matter to you, make sure you look at where the cabin is, what's above you, what's below you, just to make sure you can avoid it. The only thing is that it does cost more to choose your own cabin.
Yes, it's true.
And then sometimes you'll find that you'll choose a perfect cabin and you'll forget to untick that auto upgrade box, and then the cruise line will upgrade you somewhere else on the ship.
And you can't take it back.
And yeah, you might be stuck. So they might upgrade you to what they think's better, but you might be the noisy location. You might be not as near a lift as you were before. If you if you want to be close to lifts and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of negative comments about the auto upgrades. Not many people have said that it's an upgrade worth having.
Sometimes it can be. We've had a friend before who's booked an obstructed balcony and been upgraded to a really nice balcony, probably even better than the balcony we had. But I don't hear that very often, especially these days. Now they're doing the bid upgrade thing. I think the automatic upgrades are they're washed out.
So a lot of cruise lines now, you can say you've booked your inside cabin, you'll get an email a few months before saying if you bid this much, you've got a chance of going for a balcony. So I think a lot of the nice upgrades have probably disappeared because people are now bidding for them.
Yeah, I did one of the automatic bids when you bid for an upgrade, and I bid the lowest amount, and I won.
Hey.
And even better, they failed to charge me for the upgrade.
Bonus.
So I was a double winner that time.
We've tried bidding a few times for Yacht Club on MSC, and we've never managed to do it.
Yeah, that's I've been in a cabin on a yacht club. Had a look at it. It's quite expensive. I've got to say, quite expensive, and it wasn't that much bigger. I mean, it was a double. It had a double, downstairs and upstairs, and its own hot tub out on the deck. So I guess that's quite a good feature. But the one thing I did like on the MSC was the bracelets you get, so that when you're in the rest of the ship, you can automatically call a lift and it'll come straight to you with no one else on it. Yeah. I quite like that feature. That's very very James Bond.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of wearable tech because honestly, you never believe it, but I've lost a cruise card before now after checking in. Between checking in and actually getting onto the ship, I've lost my cruise card. I'm terrible. And then when we went on the Queen Anne, the VIP trip thing, before the maiden, I thought, I'm going to be really smart here. I'm going to hole punch my room card and I'm going to put it through my lanyard so I can carry it around me and I won't lose it. But I accidentally put the hole punch hole through the mag strip, and my card was redundant instantly.
You killed it.
And then I lost it.
That wasn't the only part of it. You then went out one night
and lost it.
Because obviously you don't wear your lanyards when you go out on the gala nights, and you're dressed in your tuxedo. You don't have a lanyard on you. and you managed to lose it anyway.
Yeah, and I was on the ship for not even 24 hours, so make of that what you will. I don't know how I do it, but I just lose them. Yeah.
Have you done Princess cruises? Because they've got amazing wearable tech.
They do. No, I haven't. I've been on board for a day,
Yeah.
but I've not done a cruise.
Yeah, when it works, it's amazing. It's really good.
Yeah. What did you think of the tech then?
Yeah, we quite often order things to our table rather than going up to the bar and things, and they'd always find you. Sometimes things would go wrong, and I think our funniest one was we came out of the lift and there was a waiter there waiting with drinks for us about 3 hours after we'd ordered them.
Oh gosh.
But it's really good. Like when we had friends on board, we could go onto one of the maps and we could see exactly where they were sitting to go meet them and things like that. We love that kind of tech, to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard that's the good feature of it. Is you get drinks delivered to wherever you are, can't you? And find out where your friends are. I think that especially on larger ships, there is a pain to try and find out where everyone is.
And when you come up to your room, the door unlocks for you and things like that as well. It's quite cool.
Yeah. So we now have MSC Virtuosa. Did you say you had some?
We do have some friends. I've literally just messaged them. Whether they'll get the message, I'm not sure. But I've said, "Where are you? You're on camera." I don't know. I don't think they have a yellow hand as such. But
That makes visibility tricky with no yellow hands. Not many people out on deck, although it is getting dangerously near buffet time, isn't it?
Yes.
MSC Virtuosa is off on his 7 nights round trip. Northern Europe. Skagen, Olsen, Copenhagen, Zeebrugge and Bruges.
Ooh, very nice. That's quite a nice itinerary, that. A couple of ports we haven't been to there. We could have done that one.
I think that's, considering the number of cruises you've been on, it's amazing that you're coming up with ports you haven't been to and things you still want to do. That's impressive.
Well, we're back in Norway twice this year, and we've got new ports. And we've never been to Flam. We're going to it twice this year. It's always nice to go to new ports.
Sometimes it's nice going back to a port you've been to before, though, because you can do different things. Like, for instance, we've been to Alden now a couple of times, and every time we've managed to do something quite good. We've done the Troll train, we've been to the Brixton Glacier, we've done the Lowen Skylift, which we'd highly recommend. But we've managed to do quite a lot, haven't we?
What's the Skylift?
The Skylift, it's very James Bondy, really. You've basically got the side of a fjord. To the top there's a viewpoint at the very top, and you can look down into the fjord. You can see your ship. You get a good aerial view of the ship. Don't know how high up it goes, but it's quite breathtaking.
Well, it says cable car Mount Hoven is 1,011 meters.
Yeah. If it's a cloudy day when you get there, or very foggy, probably wouldn't recommend it, because you'd go up through the cloud and you won't be able to see anything below the cloud. But if it's broken cloud or a clear day, I mean, the scenery up there is it's breathtaking. I mean, we've actually seen people paragliding all off it, haven't we?
Yeah, I did see something the other day. I think they've had the 1,000-person, what do they call it, when you jump off in one of those suits and you kind of just fly along. Is it base jumping? I'm not sure.
Yeah, base jumping. Yeah.
But yeah, they do that
with
kind of thing.
With the wingsuit.
Yeah, wouldn't catch us doing it, but they do all that kind of stuff up there. So it's amazing to watch.
So that would be an example of something that perhaps is best chosen as an excursion to do when you're there at the time rather than in advance, if it's weather dependent.
Definitely, and it's quite easy to do that. You get off the ship, and there's a little information centre on the dock there, and you can just book your ticket, and it includes the bus trip over to Loyn to get the Skylift. So Lowen.
Good information. Someone's
the good thing with Alden is when you get off the ship, there's like basically a line of tourist things on offer. You can go on bus trips, troll trains, whatever you want. There's loads of things. They're just basically on the quayside. So as soon as you disembark, they just said we are waving though. I'll ask them where they are.
Yeah, I couldn't see. Which ship's that? I've got 2 ships on the go now.
Have you been on Virtuosa?
No. Last one I went on was Eurybia.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
so very similar then.
Yes, yeah. I try and go on a different one every time.
Yeah.
Okay, they said they're heading to the back, so we might see them soon.
Oh, I must say, having a quick look on the camera, though, it looks like the weather's coming in again after it was a bit sunny a minute ago. Right, we're having a look at the stern of the MSC.
Going to the back.
So, did you give the water slides a go in Euribia?
No, I didn't. I actually went down, got changed, went upstairs. I think it was a sea day, and it was really cold. So I thought, no problem, there'll be nobody up there. There was no one up there.
Yeah.
When I went to go have a go, it was closed because
Oh,
they were doing some maintenance because no one was using it. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
we're just big kids when we're on Virtuoso or an MSC cruise, and water slides, the ropes course, things like that. We love it. I love the ropes course anyway. You don't, do you?
I'm not a fan of the ropes course. The slides, yeah, I don't mind those, except for the one that's like a champagne. What do you call it? The one like a.
It's the champagne
I don't
one.
like that because it drops so fast. I just no. The other two slides, I'm completely fine with. They don't care if they go over the side of the ship and back in. That's fine. But I don't like the one that drops you.
There's one of the ships. I forget the name of the ship. I forget now. But there's a dry slide that goes all the way from the top all the way down the bottom, down the side of the
Yeah, I
ship.
think Wheeled Europa's got that one, isn't it?
Yes, and I do believe is the NCL have one as well.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's have a little look here.
Yeah, I can't see. Are they on the top deck or?
Yeah.
They said they were going to the
Green
back of the
jacket
ship.
and pink top.
Green jacket and pink top.
Back starboard.
That's the other
Back
side.
starboard. Well, starboard's the wrong side.
I've decided to try port.
Tripod.
Yeah, I can't see starboard side. That's beyond my ability. I don't have annoyingly, all my cameras are on one side.
Haven't mastered looking around corners yet, have we?
Nope,
Yeah.
not yet. Yeah, I can't.
Pink top.
Pink
Jacket,
and green.
Pink top.
Yeah, if she was just right on the stern, it would be quite easy to see her up there.
I've said to move to the port side, so we might.
It looks relatively quiet up there as well, doesn't it?
It does. I don't know if we've had any numbers yet. I don't think they've radioed in with the numbers.
So I can't see anyone waving anyway.
The last cruise we did on Virtuoso was our group cruise, and it was a 3-nighter, and it was so busy on that one. Little mini cruises, they can be quite busy, can't they?
Oh yeah, so with a smaller cruise, like a 3-night cruise compared to a 7-night cruise, do you think there's a different attitude with the people on board cruising?
Yeah, it's
there's a bit more
definitely
gung ho because you've only got 3 nights.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a party atmosphere.
Okay.
And what we say this ourselves. It's cheaper to go on a cruise for 3 nights sometimes than it is to kind of go to London or go to a city somewhere and have a few nights away. So you can see why people go on the cruise ship and just have a good time for 3 nights.
Okay, I think we might be looking at the wrong place. I think she just said they're at the back part of the buffet, which would mean that not on the very top deck, but that bit at the back underneath, aren't they? They said they would be. I can't see anyone near.
Gone a bit too far out now, haven't they?
It gets hard.
Oh, yeah, I can't.
I think as well is probably there's a bit of a lag between that, and then you don't know when they're getting the message and the signal, and it's difficult to keep up. And there's so much going on Sailaway, isn't there?
Yeah,
Obviously,
absolutely.
we've been there ourselves. You try to keep up as best you can, but it's always sort of it's out of sync and things, isn't it?
It is. Yes, it is. Right, let's have a look. See. Yeah.
They said they're waving now. Apparently, I've just literally had the text.
Oh, I did see someone right at the very top.
It's that black. That's it.
Yeah, I can see someone waving. There we go.
There we have them.
Just a silhouette.
Little red ferry just coming towards me. She's like, yeah, these people, they really need to get yellow hands.
They do. They're available from your website, are they? Monkey hands.
Well, I think we're going to have to get some
We're
sorted.
going to have to sort something out. Oh, That, or we need like a Solent Ships one as well, don't we? We need flags or something. Oh, who's that waving there now? Is that that's not them, is it? Somebody else.
Okay.
Forget I'm watching on TV. I'm on the screen. I've got two, and then one's out.
I'm just looking at the Ventura. She's also on the move,
Okay.
and she is at the other end of port. She's
Do we know
assisted by
why?
two tugs, the Spitzer Eastern and the Craig Lee.
Do we know why she was delayed today?
I think she's bang on time, actually.
Ventura's on time, yeah.
Oh, Ventura.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ventura's on time.
It was,
Bang on
did we
time.
find out why Sky was delayed?
I think I heard on the radio that there was a bus had been delayed.
Okay.
So, well, actually, that does remind me when, what am I looking for now? Oh, occasionally I have overload here. My brain needs a little couple of seconds to have a nap while I work out which camera to look at. Which camera? Oh, yeah, this one. There we go. Yes, it reminds me when I was on one of the ships. We were in Europe somewhere, one of the European ports. I don't remember which one. We went off and amused ourselves in the town, came back. And the ship was in Rotterdam. The ship was delayed departing by about half an hour, 45 minutes, because there was heavy traffic in the air, I think due to a football game or something.
Yeah.
And the coach hadn't returned in time because it was organised. It was an organised cruise an organised tour by the cruise company. Mm-hmm. But when that came back in, offloaded, the ship pulled up the Skyway and off it went. And with that, two more coaches came in, organised by independent companies, and the ship didn't wait for them.
Oh.
Yeah, that gave me food for thought. That did.
Yeah, it's
We've had one experience bit close, couldn't it find when we were in the Caribbean.
yeah, Martinique, wasn't it?
And there was a massive traffic jam. We thought, oh no, but luckily because our tour guide had his own taxi, he could use the taxi lanes. He was just bombing down all these private taxi lanes, overtaking all the thing, and we got on time.
Yeah, it's
But
that was probably our closest moment we've had to being a bit late.
but that's because I think he got so involved in showing us around the island, he really got into it, didn't he?
Oh, he said he'd get us back.
He
in
did
time.
say get us back, and he did get us back
Yeah,
in
he got
time.
us there.
But
But it's one of those things. It's some ports are quite. If we do our own thing, we do normally only do like half days. This was a full day one. It's very rare we do that. But you're quite you're a lot you're a lot safer if you do a half day. So you're getting off the ship at 9 o'clock and you can be back by lunchtime. You know you're all right. But if you're doing an all day excursion, it can get a bit risky because they do say they won't wait for you.
Yep, I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube of people. It tends to be in the Caribbean, where the cruise ship's departing and they're waving big yellow foam hands out the bridge, saying,
what's they call them? Is it pier runners?
Pier
they call
runners,
them,
yeah.
isn't it?
Pier runners.
And everyone starts booing at them on the top deck. I mean, how humiliating would that be?
Oh, awful. Ventura is now on her way. She is off on a 14-night round trip to Portugal and the Canaries, calling in at Funchal in Madeira, Santa de la Cruz in Palma, and Santa de la Cruz in Tenerife.
Oh,
Have you been
lovely.
to Madeira?
That would be lovely, that will. I think the weather's really nice down there at the moment too. It's quite hot.
Yeah, have you been to Madeira?
We have, yeah. We went in February on the Azura, her sister ship. That's actually quite a good question, actually. I don't know if anyone in the chat has recently been on Ventura. Be interested to know if the beak, or the clamshell, as it's known, at the very front of the ship, that viewing promenade deck area and the bow, is that actually accessible to passengers at the moment? Because on Azura, they've closed it off now. It's no longer available.
Whoa, why is that
I just
then?
love that.
So on Ventura, basically the promenade deck has steps going up to that front area. On Azura, you have to go inside, up the stairs, and then back out
through like a door.
But just behind that area is a crew bar or a crew mess.
Yeah.
So I think what they've done on Azura is made the front area of the ship for crew only, so they've got a bit of fresh air and stuff.
Oh, I see.
Would be good to see whether this is still open on Ventura.
Yeah, because it used to be really, really good. You could walk up there. You could basically do a Rose and Jack and stand on the front right at the bow. And it's a brilliant viewpoint.
I personally like being able to get right up to the front of the ship. That's one thing that annoys me about the MSC ship, that not being part of the I forget what it's called now, the yacht club.
Yeah.
It's like a third of the ship was inaccessible. Is what it felt like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I always like a forward-facing observation. I love places like the Crow's Nest is another one of our favourite.
Yeah, that's my
Love to
favourite.
sit
Yeah.
there with a drink and just take it all in. Perfect. But yeah, I can't see anybody on there. They might have closed it now because of wind. Because I know it used to get closed for wind, didn't it, back in the day? But
They have done. Looks like there's a deck around the very top of above the bridge, covered a couple of decks above the bridge.
yeah, these people. That's in front of the gym, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so if they're up there, you'd expect them to be down the bottom as well.
Yeah. I know when we went to had a look at one of the rooms in the yacht club, the people we met, we met them in the bar on the other side. And I said, "Oh, yeah, how are you finding it?" They said, "Really good." They said, "The trouble is, though," they said, "by 9 o'clock, 9:30, all the bars are empty because the only people who can afford the yacht club are older people. They'd already dined early and they'd gone to bed by 9."
Yeah.
And that's kind of the situation we found ourselves on Celebrity Beyond, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we found it a bit on Arcadia as well. But then I think what we do is, if you can, I think the best thing is to sort of try and judge it as quickly as possible what's happening around the ship, because you might need to adjust how you do things. And if you do that, I think you'll have a better cruise for it. Once you get into the rhythm of it, if you can work around the people that are on the cruise with you, you'll have better nightlife and things for it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'd try and find out the rhythm of the ship. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I mean, it's quite easy for everyone to say, "Oh, I dine at 8 o'clock every night. That's it, and I'm not changing." But then if you're finding you go in to a nightclub afterwards or a show and there's nobody there, you'd be better off maybe going in at 6 and then enjoying it with everybody else and getting the atmosphere. Sort of readjust your own timings, perhaps, just to.
Exactly.
I've just seen one of your blue spanners has said Ventura's got 3,103 passengers on.
Yes.
Which is not quite full then, is she? I don't think. No.
Well, there could be some single occupancy, I suppose, but not full. And also, shipmate Brendan W says his sister came off Ventura on Tuesday and the clamshell was open on sea days.
Brilliant.
Perfect. That's nice to know. We haven't been on Ventura for quite some time now.
No.
We're
well overdue.
Yeah.
I did have friends of mine came back on Ventura a while ago and they were slightly worried because they didn't particularly want to pick up any diseases or things that are on there, but I haven't heard anymore, so I think they must have sorted that one out.
We've had a bit of a bad spate of it at the moment,
Yeah.
but I mean, it happens from time to time. All sorts of ships. I mean, Aurora had it.
We're
as
the same
well.
in Aurora. We were delayed embarking by 90 minutes so they could clean the ship and things.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I suppose it's one of those things that happens, isn't it? When you've got a lot of people around each other, things will spread a lot quicker. But
And people
it's
do
been spreading
bring
in the UK as well.
It's easy to pinpoint ship, but people do bring things from land onto the ship as well. Unfortunately, because you have your incubation periods as well, don't you? It's just unfortunate, really. The cruise in general, they always seem to get a bit of a bad rap. I find, if it was happening in an all-inclusive resort somewhere in Spain, you wouldn't hear nothing of it. But because it's a cruise ship.
Oh, with the shipmate Bags Edna. Many thanks for your super chat. Much kindly appreciated. Someone else, Life in Park, says the beak was sadly closed. I don't know, conflicting information there. Maybe just closed on the port days, but open when they're at sea. Don't know.
At least they're possibly giving passengers an opportunity at certain times. Maybe Azura, it was just full on for the whole 2 weeks we're on that ship. It was closed. It was just non-accessible.
I think I'd be annoyed about that, frankly.
Yeah, I really, really loved it. It was one of my favourite. It was one of the highlights for booking.
And the thing is, because you had to go inside to go up to that part of the ship, it was a bit of a secret space as well.
Yeah, not a lot of people knew about it. They used to assume it didn't exist. Because on Ventura there, behind the lifeboats where it sort of goes up, there's basically stairs. The prom deck just goes straight up. But yeah, as you were saying before, Azura used to have to go in, up to deck 8, down the passenger cabin deck, and then out through the hatch at the front to get to it, didn't you?
Out through the hatch.
Well, it is a hatch. It's a weather door, I should say.
Yeah, probably is a sealed hatch, yeah.
Mm. Can't see any waivers on here at the moment.
No, it still looks like it's pretty windy. What is the weather? Yeah, it's still 26 knots. Yeah, it's still pretty windy.
Yeah. So do we know where... we said Ventura's going down to Gran Canaria, wasn't she? Yeah, that's right.
Yep, she's off down to Funchal in Madeira.
Very nice.
Be nice and hot for them. Mind, that's still quite windy down that way, isn't it? We found it quite windy down there.
Yeah, we found between the Canaries and Madeira was quite a bumpy sea day, that one.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
And obviously we did a 14-night cruise, but it was basically a back-to-back, wasn't it? We repeated part of our cruise, at the beginning. And yeah, both times it was quite bumpy going up to Madeira. Very similar to the sort of weather you get on the Bay of Biscay, really, but the waters are a lot deeper from the captain's
So we
announcement.
were Bay of Biscay. We've had flat calm, and we've come back 2 days later, and then been thrown around quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, you said you take seasickness tablets. Do you find they help?
I do. I usually find I'm not generally susceptible to seasickness unless I'm hungover, and then I'm a bit sensitive. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I have took seasickness tablets before. And I find they do help. I usually take is it Avamine?
Yeah, we tend to do it before you go to bed at night.
Yeah,
because they can make you a bit drowsy as well, can't they?
Yeah. But I usually get them from reception. Are pretty good. If you go on to reception, if ever on a cruise and you feel seasick, just ask reception. They'll either give them to you, or sometimes they will sell them to you.
Yeah. I think P&O and Q&O do charge you for them. Yeah. I think MSC provide them, and I think Royal Caribbean provide them as well. But a lot of first-time cruisers are very worried about seasickness, and don't let it worry you if you're not being on the cruise.
Yes, that was what I was going to ask. It's not. I know that when I've been cruising, the person I go with, she suffers from it, but she's never had it either time we've been. So,
the
size of the ships, I think, helps.
Yeah, I think a lot of people over worry about it, and don't let it put you off. Give it a go.
Yes, that would be a good thing to say. Over worrying, yeah, I think a lot of over worrying.
I think it's because sometimes if it's your first cruise, it's the unknown, isn't it? And it's like when you go on a plane for the first time. I remember going on a flight and being absolutely petrified. You do, but I wouldn't be put off by it. I think it's worth a go. I mean, like we did at the beginning, maybe just try a mini cruise if you've never done it before. Just dip your toe in, so to speak, see what it's like, and I'm sure you'll probably come back thinking, I wish I was on it for longer. Yeah. That's what we tended to do. Even now, we'd go on a cruise, we'd be on it for 2 weeks. As soon as you get into the routine of things, you still say, it wasn't long enough.
Yeah, last time, one of the cruises I was on last time, we met some people on board, and they were doing the same cruise back to back for 1 week, and then not getting off and doing another week. So.
Yeah.
Certainly with the bigger ships, I think even with a week, you barely get to cover any of it.
Yeah, well, when we're on the ships, obviously to make the videos, we try as much as we can and rush around as much as we can. But as I was saying earlier, we come off a cruise quite often more tired than we are going on it, because you've just tried to cram so much in and see everything and do everything.
I suppose on that header note, when you say about YouTube and stuff, there is something we've learned from YouTube. Obviously, we try and film every venue, but maybe other people could apply it to their cruise. If you've got a ship that's absolutely enormous, such as Iona, and you're trying to get around all the bars and venues, what you could do is maybe just sit down before your cruise. I know we say not to plan too much, but you could sort of say, I'm going to spend Monday at Brody's, Tuesday I'm going to go elsewhere. You can pick Crow's Nest, you could pick a bar every night, and you could work yourself around the ship, so by the time you get off, at least you've experienced everywhere. Rather, because it's very easy to get into a habit, isn't it? You find a bar, you sit down, you like it, and you stay there, and you go to the same bar every night at the cruise. Which maybe it's worthwhile, perhaps just mixing it up every day, just pick somewhere different. Or even if you do afternoon drinking at Brody's and then go to the Crow's Nest in the evening, double up on what you can do, but just try and get a bit of everything in, perhaps, rather than... Oh, there's a flag there.
There is a flag, undefined.
Do we know what that means?
I couldn't really see it. It looked, I don't know. I'll wait till this. Unfortunately, we've just gone behind a building, so we'll try and get it on the next camera. But I'm not sure. It sort of reminds me slightly of the Isle of Man, but I don't think it was the Isle of Man.
But anybody who's going on the cruise, and what we recommend to do is, if you've got a sea day, just work yourself deck by deck, forward to back. Just go for a walk one day, front to back, all the way up. Because we've met people who've been on a cruise for a week and said, we've never been to this place, we never knew it existed. And stuff like that.
Exactly. I made an effort on one of the ships. I think it was on Iona. We visited all 18 bars on Iona on a sea day, and it took I think it was something like 14,000 steps we ended up doing walking around the ship.
Well, just think that people say when you drink is excessive amounts of calories. Just think how many you burnt off doing that. See?
Yep, exactly.
Spin
Right,
it. It's always positive.
I think there's another flag. We have another flag. So 2 flags.
Oh, what flag's this one?
Oh, I don't know what that is. It's a
Ooh, it's very colourful.
green and blue.
We've got another.
I don't know what that is. No, I've green and blue with a red cross. Yes.
Maybe we should get a Pembrokeshire flag for next week.
Yes, we should.
Oh, don't you start. There's I do get lots of Welsh flags.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
And here's the other one. I don't know what that is at all.
I see it now. No, I don't know who that is. Green and red. The red cross. I don't know where that's from.
I'm sure there'll be somebody knowledgeable in the chat who'll tell us exactly what it is.
I do like the P&O house flag, man. That's a nice flag.
It is, yeah.
Very vibrant. But I like the Cunard one as well, with the red with the gold crest.
Yeah. So there's 2 flags here. I'm nil for 2 here.
Yeah.
So that one, they brought that one in. So that was, don't know. Let's see if anyone in the chat. Lincolnshire flag says one shipmate. I presume that's the Red Cross one. Warwickshire flag says Barry Finch. I don't know. Ooh, which one's which then? What's this red one? I can't even quite make out what it is.
Lincolnshire flag is the green.
Yeah.
Blue.
Lincolnshire flag's the one with the Red Cross, is it?
Yeah. And what was the other one we said?
This red, it's got I don't know what it is. It looks like a bear on it.
That's why I was thinking it looks like a bear, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like 2 bears. I thought it looked like a white bear and another bear fighting.
Yeah, and then
Yes, it
flag
does.
of Warwickshire is the other one.
Warwickshire.
Yeah,
And
so
was it a bear?
it looks like a...
Oh, it is a bear. A bear with a tree.
Yeah.
Bear with a tree.
A bear with a tree.
A white bear and white ragged staff.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is.
Could be. I thought it might have been Winnie the Pooh.
Very, very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on this one, haven't we?
Things.
Yeah. I do get constantly caught out, and I do promise I'll do my homework one day and revise these. But
So the flag thing, how recent is that? Because I've noticed it's been cropping up on the channel quite a lot recently.
let's get it. There we go. So that's the flag that we've been
Yeah,
seeing. Oh,
that's the one.
it's a bear with
A chocolate fondue fountain.
yes, that's right. So that's Warwickshire. Wow, well done, shipmate. I was struggling. I thought it looked like a bear, but I thought, how can I identify that as being a bear at this distance? It doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Very good. Well, that is impressive. Yeah, how long has it been going on? We started getting flags a while ago, mainly Union Jacks and Welsh flags and things like that. Yeah. And then somebody brought on a flag which I just didn't recognise, and I think we had a Cornish flag which I recognised. Then there were some other flags, and it was and not only was it a flag that I didn't recognise, and it was for a county, it was like from Dorset, I think it was from Dorset or somewhere, but it was also not the current one. It was the one from like the 1970s.
Well, you had no hope in that one, did you?
Exactly, no hope. And then since then, there's been a few more. I've had some football flags from football teams, which there's no hope on that whatsoever.
No.
And then we've had lots of county flags. Sometimes people let me know what county flag they're big, and other times it's a surprise. And they were double surprised today because I didn't recognise either of those ones. Well done. I don't know who those ships mates were, but thank you for bringing those flags in. That was really rather good.
Challenge.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on board, monkeys.
Yeah,
No, thank you very much for having us.
Great to be here. We've really enjoyed it.
And maybe we'll catch up for a beer in the Dancing Man before you're off on Queen Anne next week.
Definitely.
Maybe not Queen Anne because we're at Chieveley.
But we'll definitely catch up at some point.
We will.
Yeah,
definitely catch
no
up at some
problem.
point.
We're back down for our group cruise in September as well.
Yeah.
There we go. Exactly. It's not.
We'll be in touch and we'll see you before that. Definitely.
It's not like your strangers in port, is it?
No.
Exactly.
Good stuff. So if you've enjoyed the Cruise Monkeys, there's their YouTube channel, Cruise Monkeys, and they've got all sorts of adventures on there.
Loads of
And they've just been on a very small ship. I've forgotten what it's called. The West.
It was the
Star
Windstar Star Legend, which was formerly Seabourn Legend, which was in Speed 2.
That's right. Yes.
But it's been cut and shut since and refurbished and renovated. But yeah, it was a lovely little ship.
No, I thought that was really interesting because I didn't know about that ship, so it's interesting to see something different rather than the usual suspects.
It was great because you could go onto the bow of it as well. They actually had a whirlpool on the bow.
I saw that, and they let you on the bridge.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the other interesting thing. They've got Windstar have got an open bridge policy.
Yeah.
So as long as they're not manoeuvring or anything like that, you can go onto the bridge.
I think that's very good. I've tried the last couple of times, and they will say, "Oh no, COVID, we don't allow anyone on bridge anymore." But I think that's just convenience because they can't be bothered.
If you go on Queen Mary 2, however, they do have a small viewing room, and you can go there. I think it's on sea days between certain times. Like, I don't know what the times are off the top of my head. It's been a while, but you can go up to basically behind the bridge as a viewing thing, and you can actually see into the bridge from Queen Mary 2. They still do that, as far as I know. They did last time we were on board.
Yeah, last time we were on board sea days.
Excellent. Oh, well, that's good. That's just the sort of place I'd like to be.
Yeah,
I always try and get into the captain's seat whenever I can. I normally get told off. Anyway, I'll try my best. Well, thanks very much, Cruise Monkeys. I'll probably leave that there because I don't know about you, but all that talk of cocktails and your cheesy croissants on whatever ship that was on has given me the urge to rush to the galley. So thanks once again, Cruise Monkeys.
Thank you.
And thank you all shipmates, subscribers, Patreons, PayPal donors, and of course the Blue Spanner crew. And we will talk to you soon, Cruise Monkeys, I'm sure. And we'll see you.
If we don't speak to you, we'll see you next Saturday with the Yellow Hand.
Sunday.
Sunday.
We'll definitely,
waving from Queen Anne. God, I'll get my days wrong. I'll be on the wrong ship.
We'll definitely see you Sunday.
Next weekend, everybody.
Exactly. Right, until next time, shipmates.
Bye.
Red Osprey Beaches. That's received, thank you, sir. Call shut is 4.06. Height seen received, thank you for the call, sir. Outbound main channel to the east.
MC Virtuoso VTS, that's all copied. After the Red Jet 7, there's no reported inbound traffic over. VTS. VTS, stand by, please. Sky Princess, VTS, over. Sky Princess, VTS, that's all copy. There's no reported inbound traffic, over. VTS, over.
VTS, Redjet 7, approaching height line. May I continue height?
Redjet 7 VTS, your permission to carry on is safe to do so.
Thank you. And just for your info, once we are alongside, we'll be shutting down this boat for tonight.
BTS understood, thank you.
Thank you.
Soften down, VTS, green. VTS, that's all copied. Can I have your last port of call and your deepest draft, please? VTS, was that 2.5 meters draft?